Good evening, everybody. This is Iraq Vet 0304. I'm going to be doing some hosting for you for the next couple runs. Right now, we got an awesome SMZ3 race between MM2 NES cartridge and neatorific. Polar Bear Bunny and Strizer86 doing some commentary. So good luck, runners, and have fun.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining on co-commentary, Polar Bear Bunny. I hope you're having a good evening.
Hey, yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Just got off work ready for some Super Metroid: A Link to the Past combo randomizer action from two good friends here, MM2 and neatorific. How are you doing, Strizer?
I'm doing well, thanks. Alrighty. Yeah, we can get the runners going. So you guys are free to go whenever you want. Did you want us to do a countdown? I think they should have us both audible. Did you want to go ahead and give the countdown for us?
Yeah, we were thinking y'all could do the countdown.
Alright. On go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go!
And of course, we're going to get the normal momentary stream delay on our end as commentary. But we can get them all synced up too if they're... Oh, nice. They're pretty close. All right, so SMZ3, for those that have not seen, essentially it is a combo randomizer. Both games coexist, and there are portals between them, which allow our players to acquire items from one game in another. And basically, our players are going to be trying to get all the items that they need to beat both games.
Yeah, super cool. A developer magic here, combining both games through 4 portals that are in both games. The first one here, this little shop here, leads to criteria. Both players checking the island and Link's house, just seeing bombs on the island, so nothing important there. Looks like neatorific actually going to head up to the uncle's house, seeing crystals at Desert Palace and Eastern Palace. I didn't see Hera. I don't know if you did.
I did not. I'm making a few small adjustments here on my end to get settled. I see neither runner is doing my normal habit of doing Houlihan. I know that there are some people that say that there's enough rupees in SMZ3, but I also feel like the 300s can hide well enough that I just justifiably take the moment in my mind. But I don't think anyone's going to make the dive because we didn't see MM2 do it, and Nito just notoriously will not. And we're going to see our first peek at the village, which tends to be a very lucrative early game spot in Link to the Past. MM2 is going to hit there momentarily once he makes his exit out of the forest.
Yeah, unless you're being really funny, you're definitely going to go ahead and check Kakariko. We do have 20 rupees as the bush crab prize, which is great because now MM2 can actually buy bombs. Go into the chess game. This is not cross keys MM2. You don't need to check every entrance, but he does want to get a double crab, so he'll have lots of rupees. This is kind of a good substitute for the Houlihan that you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's versatile, as you mentioned, like where bombs are nice to see, at least the rupees can be used to purchase bombs or wherever else you may need along the way, because there's a few checks that our runners will be likely committing to at one point or another that do take a certain amount of rupees, Zora being the notable one, and then of course opening up Pod, and then we've got the gentleman who normally sells the bottle for 100 as well. There's a couple other odds and ends, but yeah, you're going to need some amount of rupees, and these crabs are going to help make those ends meet.
Yeah, there is another crab down at South Shore, so if they do intend to perhaps fake flipper to Zora at some point, that crab will be down there available. MM2 going for the bottle vendor, probably hoping to score some bombs there. I didn't quite catch what was on the lumberjack, but that's always pretty lucrative check. I don't think MM2 scouted that earlier, so if that's something that's good information to have, the MM2 won't.
Oh, sword early on, very nice. That's comfy.
Oh, our friends in chat are saying that it is King of Samaria on Lumberjack. That's pretty funny. It is possible that Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, the 2 dungeons that actually require King of Samaria, are pendants and therefore not necessary to complete. But we'll see. We'll see how this information helps Nito. And if I'm correct about MM2 not checking it, if it hinders him in any way.
The caveat too is even if those dungeons aren't necessarily required, there is still a possibility that Kain may be required for GT. So yeah, that's quite the spot for Kain. That's really interesting. I'm excited to see where this seed leads, and it's very appropriate for a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of runners don't decide to check that spot out until they actually have the boots, which is required to actually bonk into the tree and go down in that hole and get them. So it's not like MM2 is forgetting about that location forever. He'll probably get to it if these runners are blessed with the Pegasus boots. Are blessed with the bow, though. Really early bow. That's kind of exciting. And then also, important to note, Super Metroid items, Super Missiles and Power Bombs are actually guaranteed to have at least one here in what we call Sphere 1, basically the checks that don't require really any items to get. So Nito picked up at least one of both, so if they do come across Morph Ball, they could go right into Super Metroid and get things done.
It's not unusual that our runners don't end up finding normal bombs. You know, PBs tend to be the way to go and what you'll normally see for the majority of a seed. If you come across normal bombs, obviously it's great because you don't need to worry about your ammo count, and you can save yourself a little bit of lag. But it's not expected that you find bombs, but they can be great in a pinch if you're also looking to access can-fly locations. And of course, it's always nice to have because it feels right.
Yeah, absolutely. Those bombs can be especially important. If you are kind of familiar with SMZ3, there is normal mode and hard mode. This is normal that they're playing, so a lot of tricks in Super Metroid are actually going to be out of logic, and you find that the bombs can fly. IBJ, Infinite Bomb Jump, is a normal logic trick, so definitely possible that could be your required, quote-unquote can fly, just a way to get up high in SM.
Sequence breaks can go either way in normal mode seeds as well. I know that Nito's often said that he finds the hard mode seeds typically end up being faster, and it's probably because the heavier requirement of tricks combined with the plausibility that you're going to find certain unique items a little bit earlier in hard mode. There's a lot of times where in normal mode you could spend your time doing things that aren't in normal mode logic and doing those breaks, but they may not be as lucrative just the way the seed is designed because it is a normal mode seed. Which I can agree with. Sometimes you find hard mode seeds are just fast based on the nature of it, and sometimes you get a really slow paced normal seed where just everything gets kind of dripped to you piece by piece.
Yeah, exactly. And just important to note, the hard mode, it only applies to Super Metroid. It has nothing to do with A Link to the Past logic, so it's kind of your standard racing Link to the Past logic here. If you are kind of more on the Super Metroid side as a player, there's lots of things that aren't in logic in normal mode that you kind of just do. Like the Mock Ball and Green Brinstar is probably the most common one. You kind of just do it anyway, but it's technically not in logic. Without Speed Booster, you get that early Supers location here in normal mode. But things like you were saying, like going to do heat runs in Norfair without Varia Suit or Meridia without Gravity Suit, you're probably not going to see as much of that, even if these runners are perfectly capable of doing so.
I feel like they've both taken at least a little bit of a differentiating intro path, which is nice. We've got MM2 checking out the South Shore, and we have Nito checking out the Escape. So we get a little bit of diversity in our checks here. You're going to expect to see Nito do South Shore afterwards because aside from Kakariko, it's generally your most lucrative early game area. There's one key orb that we're looking for. It's not the one that allows us to morph. And until we find that, you're probably going to see our runners stick mostly to Link to the Past.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nito, very smartly taking this weapon, this sword here, into Escape. Looks like he stole the key from the first blue guard and is actually going to check out Dark Cross. This is not technically in logic. If that first chest is not the small key, then Dark Cross here is going to be behind the lamp, or well, Dark Cross is behind the lamp anyway, but it's probably behind the glove. MM2! No! Those crabs do 2 hearts of damage. Very, very dangerous place that Ice Rod Cave is, and I'm gonna guess that he does not try to go back to that anytime soon.
Yeah, hopefully we're not going to see something important there, and we're gonna very likely, as I said, see that via Nito shortly, but that is the worst place to take the death on the South Shore because you really can't justify making that whole round for one more item. Even if you were to fake flip or do something on the way back to get an extra one, you're still making that whole roundabout and then walking back. So until he has reason to, maybe even via Dark World and using the mirror or something of that form, probably not going to be venturing back there. But if you're in Greed and Tunic, those crabs are your worst enemies, and it's scary. South Shore with 3 hearts and green is actually scary because you can get 2 hit very easily.
Definitely agree. Nito did actually get the small key here in Dark Cross, so these checks are out of logic behind the lamp. Just the silver arrows, though. I say just but silver arrows are super nice to have. If you're familiar with the normal just a Link to the Past only randomizer, that generally uses progressive bows, so there's basically 2 bows in the pool. The first one you get is your bow, and the second is your silvers. SMZ3 doesn't have that. There's only 1 bow and 1 set of silvers, so nice find from Nito. Not no logical implications that he can take from that, but still super nice to have.
It's a really good comfort item. I mean, in a pinch too, they can even use it in lieu of a stronger sword for some enemies, so it's not even just useful for Ganon, it has its applicable uses for the remainder of however long the seed is. So really early bow and silvers is a pretty nice combination of power early on.
Yeah, I think the biggest boss that you like to have the silver arrows for is Vitreous and Meyer. 2 silver arrows and he's dead. You can silver arrow all the little eyes as well, and it's super safe and super fast. Nito recognizing that the map is actually in Zelda's cell, so just checking that one chest and leaving. So nothing really in Escape, but those silver arrows in the back he knows are behind the lamp. Lamp is out there somewhere, I'm sure, but we'll have to keep looking.
Even though the initial sword is not great, it's so great instinctually to have. Oh, the boots. Very nice.
There they are.
It's kind of French vanilla. I mean, they're just inside the building instead of outside the building.
Yeah, technically. I think, oh, yeah. So, we like to call it when you get all 3 items and the big key in these first 4 checks. I like to call it a God Eastern, and it's always that big chest, that last check, that ends up being either the map or the compass. So you gotta come here in this dark room and grab this key and go ahead and check out the vanilla big key chest for 1 more item, and hope that it's not just the compass. But that's a really good find. It could be a while before Nito actually goes into this not completable. Actually, it is completable. They do have the bow. So MM2 could do this. The dark room in the back of Eastern is pretty scary though, on this health, and without even maybe like the fire rod to go ahead and light the torch.
Yeah.
I
I respect the choice to destroy the enemies here. After the initial deboost didn't work out with only 3 hearts, I totally appreciate MM2 actually just dealing with the enemies and dispersing the anti-fairies there. And the shovel.
Yay, shovel. Well, it's not too bad of a check, especially with the boots. But yeah, there's 3 hearts here. The Igors here in the back, the enemies that you shoot the arrow into, they do 1 heart of damage no matter what your mail is. M2 is actually going to take the opportunity to grab a fairy from the eastern pot here. You don't see too often, but yeah, he knows every heart counts in this case.
What you can typically do here as well, depending on how you like your setup. There we go. You can see he's actually placing the arrows into the Igor before it spawns to basically know where it is, and he'll be able to see when it starts moving. There you go.
Very nicely done. That's perfect. I think for me personally, I always end up kind of going too farther over than the Igor actually is when I shoot my arrows, thinking he's more to the right. M2 did that perfectly. That's very good for him. He'll be able to go ahead and grab this crystal super fast. Get it out of the way.
Nito grabbing his pearl. We're gonna see if we finally get a peek at the ice rod item here in a moment.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't recall them getting much else in terms of progression. The morph ball item is in logic, of course, and then they probably have a couple other things here and there, but nothing really telling them where to go. Wow, well that helps.
Okay, so boots and flute with a side of shovel in Eastern. That's pretty packed. I mean, there's not that many checks in Eastern, so usually it's nice if you find like 1 thing, let alone 2, but that 2.5, maybe, we'll call it for now.
Yeah, wow. Oh, and it's Bombos in Ice Rod Cave. That's interesting. It's one of those things that might be required, might not. You don't know. Bombos, of all the medallions, I think they already have Quake from the race game. Of all the medallions, is probably the most useful, because it could be your access into Ice Palace, as well as either Turtle Rock or Mire. We'll have to see. I'd wager to guess. Oh, there's Morph Ball. Yeah. I was gonna say, I wager to guess that the lamp, which that flute is locked behind logically, is behind the boots. So the game wants you to go get your boots, leave Eastern, then come get your Morph Ball, and then I guess find your lamp in Super Metroid. That's what I assume this seed wants. Because you need either the lamp and a glove, or the flute to get up to Death Mountain.
See, Nito's doing the fake flipper check here, so this will be another check that MM2 hasn't done yet. Ooh, okay.
That's definitely Canis Maria. What was on the hobo? Something good?
This is the magic powder.
Ooh.
So
fancy.
again, kind of like, we'll call it half an item. You know, it can be used to do 1 check. It's a really great comfort and safety item for our runners, especially if they don't end up finding too much in the way of hearts or armor. You know, most runners won't necessarily go their way for a 1/4 heart to begin with. So if you don't see any full hearts, you can end up on pretty low health. Both of our runners very experienced and comfortable at low health and with green tunic, but as we saw earlier, something can happen to anyone.
Yeah, things in this game hurt, especially in the Dark World, if we make our way there anytime soon. Nothing here in this waterfall. Nito gonna peek at the Zora ledge. Accessible with flippers, of course, and also some tech you can do to fake flipper to it, and just +5 capacity on Mr. Sick Kid.
He's continuing along the way. I kind of, maybe he wishes he farmed another crab there, because he's a little bit shy on the 500 that he needs. Looks like is he gonna splash cancel for the sake of these supers?
Yeah, that's a little strange. I don't think I would do that personally for.
He's got to be doing this to show off.
Yeah. So the idea is basically, on a basic level, because that's all I know, is that you put enough crap on the screen that the game deletes your splash animation. So you kind of hide the fact that you're swimming without flippers there. Very nice showing off, if that's what he was doing. Supers are nice, but I do know they have, like, MM2 has 20, so Nito probably has a similar amount.
If nothing else, it was fun. I appreciate the fact that he took the time to show that off, as much as he knew he wasn't going to be lucratively rewarded for doing so. MM2 is showcasing some of our Super Metroid side of things early on. You know, this is very much a randomizer where it is a game of two halves, and I find what will typically happen is you'll end up playing Link to the Past until you find Morph Ball and a couple things that'll get you into Super Metroid, and then generally you'll see a lot of Super Metroid and players will kind of pivot back to Link to the Past after the fact. So I wouldn't doubt that MM2 is basically going to take this as far as he possibly can in Super Metroid, and he's going to check the backside of Gauntlet here.
Mind if I jump in real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Just got $100 donation from Deathwish88 saying, another game over cancer just means I have to show my support. Keep up all the great work, Strizer and team. Much love. We also got $10 from Polar Bear Bunny with no message. Also, guys, if you guys want to get in on some of these incentives, make sure you put those donations towards some of those incentives coming up. Thank you for the donations.
Yeah, thank you so much, both of you. Definitely consider the incentives. We've got a lot of really fun ones. We've got a lot of bid wars for characters and colors and costumes and things like that. In addition, we've got some game unlocks, whether they be a full game unlock or like an extension of a game. So what we're looking at with the Dungeon Explorer 2 run coming up after is going to be an upgrade to Princess %, where essentially he's gonna not only play as the princess character, but we're gonna get the webcam on screen, and we're gonna get a little like princess crown cosplay going for you. So if you guys want to see that, toss it towards that one. That's our next one that's going to be cut off. But ! You guys can check out whatever suits your fancy. There's a lot happening over the course of the weekend.
Definitely. Big thank you. That sounds like a ton of fun. We do have Nito going for the Eastern play as well. I hope he has as good of luck as MM2 did with his Dark Rooms. Also important to note, well, there's a glove. That's one piece for Dark World access. Nito does get his boots, and we also have the mirror in the back of Gauntlet, which we cannot get without another power bomb pack, or maybe screw attack or normal bombs. But Nito does, or MM2 does have that information.
Yeah, 5 power bombs right in the intro is a little bit awkward because there's some things that you kind of have to naturally strand, or at the very least you have to go back for some extra power bombs, like a refill at the ship, or you have to be a little more conservative and kind of double back at some points to refill. So 5 power bombs. Ooh, hook shot. Certainly a good find. 5 power bombs is something that's definitely frustrating as a player, and I'm sure both of them at this point are really, really wanting to see that second pack just for like quality of life purposes.
Absolutely. You can do the entirety of this Pink Brinstar with 5. If he had gone to that room to the left, has those Firefleet enemies that pretty much always drop power bombs. He could have refilled all the way to 5, and that would have let him actually clear this out without having to farm for a drop or hope for there's the magic cape, or hope for, you know, another pack. Either way, though, I think MM2 is gonna be okay. It just can be a little bit slow to try and farm these enemies. Vanilla power bombs. Very lucky find. Wow.
After just saying that they were hoping to find a second pack, well, that's we'll call that commentator's blessing because that rarely happens. Oh, there's another set. All right.
Oh my goodness! Wow. And MM2 is doing the strat anyway, where you can powerbomb open this hole and then also the hole to the back of Spore Spawn at the same time. That's really funny that he's still choosing to do that, even seeing those power bombs there. That kind of tells me that he wants to be able to clear out Blue Brinstar with this loop. Brinstar kind of being the Kakariko of SM, if you will, as far as item checks. Wow.
Alright, we get it, game. I said one thing, like...
That... MM2 will never get this lucky again. This will never happen again. And he even got a drop! Wow. That's
what,
like
a 5% chance?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 2, like something ridiculous. That's crazy. Good news! Well, other good news. Nito does get through his dark room and does get the Eastern Crystal as well. I wonder where that lamp is.
MM2 with a very, very nice and... No,
Oh.
don't
he
you dare
doesn't.
get that.
MM2.
Thank you.
Oh, he got it! Interesting. I didn't think he would.
I would have been personally a little bit upset if he didn't. As much as it may mess up your mock balls, like, Spring Ball is such a fun item. And there's some really clever and good uses for it, so hopefully we'll get to see some use out of it. Realistically, it does help him out a little bit where he doesn't have regular bombs, because he's not going to need to use power bombs to, like, get him up one tile blocks in certain scenarios, so it can be useful. And Spring Ball jumps, also a thing, potentially beneficial.
Yeah, indeed. I'm a little bit surprised he picked that up. MM2, if you don't know him, a self-professed Spring Ball hater extraordinaire. There are a lot of things that Spring Ball can assist you in doing that you wouldn't have more power bombs than Brinstar. I cannot believe that. But in normal mode, the things that Spring Ball can help you do aren't actually in logic, so it's kind of more incentive to not pick it up. But a normal person is going to pick it up anyway. MM2, not a normal person. Spring Ball hater.
Normal's overrated.
But yeah, in hard logic though, the Spring Ball can be your logical jumping access. And also your Suitless Meridia helper, so pretty interesting how Spring Ball's functionality has kind of grown.
I'm gonna peek at Billy Mays here after that terrible one-tile gap that absolutely nobody loves.
I'm so bad at spin jumping in one tile gap. Ooh! Well, that's Dark World access here at Billy Mays with the hammer, hammer glove, and moon pearl for MM2. That's, you know, once you got Morph Ball and SM, and then you've got Dark World access and A Link to the Past, there's so much to do. What do you do? How do you choose what to do next?
My gut would tell me that I would head down towards Kraid and check the high jump boots area, and that's a good point to go back to Death Mountain, especially where MM2 has hookshot. Trying this damage boost, I find that after like a couple swoops, this enemy gets really out of place, and it becomes a little more difficult. But having that extra E-tank, which I totally agree with that choice, I think he's probably going to head down, and we're going to see him do... Oh, no, never mind. Shut my mouth.
Yeah, he just, I guess, doesn't want to orphan the old Mother Brain missiles check. He does have enough power bombs to comfortably scout the Climb Super's item. Yeah, that Rio, you see a lot of them there in Blue Brinstar to get that ceiling tank item, which was actually vanilla. you see him a lot in just SM Rando. Always the second item that you go get. His first 1 and 2 swoops are damage boostable into the item, and then swoops 3 and 4 are bad, you don't want to try. But once he gets back to swoops 5 and 6, he's back in kind of his normal pattern. You'll be able to deboost off him again. MM2 chooses not to scout. Oh, he's gonna take. This is smart. He's gonna take his a million power bombs and go get his mirror in the back of Gauntlet.
You know what? I totally agree with that. If you are gonna do the loop of Link to the Past, it's gonna be worthwhile to have that mirror, so you're not having to double check a lot of locations. So I can definitely see the payoff of this. We see Nito is down in the high jump boots area at this point, so we're getting a little bit of divergence that connects in a different way, and yeah, I think it's good. We've got some diversity in our writing. I don't actually think they've gone the same way, the same time at all.
Yeah, I don't think they really have. Nito, coming here, you know, he took the flute and just fluted up here. Probably did the old man, but I missed what the item was. Might have a little bit of regrets skipping, quote-unquote skipping, Brinstar. I'm sure he'll get back to it at some point, but maybe this is kind of his style. He kind of wants to hold out on those checks, but so since he's doing this, he doesn't have the hook shot or the mirror, or knowledge of either. So can't really do any more on the mountain, but he does have the save and quit spot. Flute also the fastest way to get there, so not a big deal. He's gonna go ahead and get another boss kill out of the way here in Kraid, but hopefully he goes to Brinstar sooner rather than later to get those necessary things.
Half Magic certainly a good convenience item, not something that I would expect either of our runners to require in any way, but it's really good to have for a couple different reasons. We see they've already got the cape, or at least MM2 already has the cape, so that's certainly super handy. And when you have Half Magic, it really makes it not suck up your whole magic bar in a matter of a couple seconds.
Exactly. I personally love Half Magic. I dislike very much not having it. I just like being comfy, you know. Ice Palace is a big thing where Half Magic comes in handy. Nito does have the Bombos medallion, so it's not as critical for him, but even so, nice crit quick kill. Nicely done, Nito. Wow, 2 splash deletes in one day. MM2 doing the splash delete to just go ahead right here and get the hobo item instead of... Oh no! Oh, weird. Huh.
Okay.
So, I didn't know this actually. In straight A Link to the Past randomizer, if you get hit by an enemy while you're fake flipping, it actually kills you, and you have to save and quit or save and continue. I didn't know that this didn't do it. Yeah, it really did. I didn't know that this was different. Interesting.
Let me give that Zora a raise.
That's my humble brag. I didn't know this was different because I never get hit when I fake flipper. He can actually check this powder pretty easily. He's got the flute to go back to Kakariko, and he has that hammer. I would check that right away. Why not? Actually, to be honest, he's got regular Dark World axes. He should probably hit up this Hype Cave, which is 5 items, and then once he's over there in the Dark Village, he can mirror to the Magic Bat if he so chooses. I put in my head exactly what the green pendant and the other pendant was, and then I promptly forgot. I want to say it was green pendant Ice Palace?
See if we get Hype Cave or Gripe Cave here. Oh, looking pretty bad. Ew.
Ew, that was a bad Hype Cave. That was pretty bad. Okay, so Palace of Darkness pendant. green pendant, and then I want to say Turtle Rock was normal pendant, and then was Hera the other normal pendant? I feel like I only saw 2 pendants in
let's see.
world.
Looking at our runners trackers, okay, Nito's, we've got Tower of Hera listed as a pendant, but he doesn't have Dark World access yet. Looking at MM2's, we have Turtle Rock and Swamp listed as red crystals, Pod as green, and then Tower of Hera and Ice Palace as our other pendants.
Okay, so I'm switched. Okay, so green pendant, Pod. Pod clearable for MM2, not in logic without the lamp. Ice Palace, pretty spicy as a pendant in my opinion. That cane though, that cane there on Lumberjack behind Aga is required though, because Meyer is crystal.
There's the MM2 making this rip around the Dark World here. Wondering when we're going to see that second glove make an appearance. This Power Glove is nice, but Titans is a lot better for routing and convenience sake. Obviously also for other access purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Has a nice fast dig game. The amount of digs you have to do is randomized in each seed, between 1 and 30, and only 3 is pretty fast. Doesn't have Titans, as you just said, so can't keep going. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and do the magic bat before he goes any farther.
Wait, you can do that?
So you can like quick hop off ledges, and if you do it so perfectly that you are just a perfect person, you can actually hop over holes like that. You can do that there, and you can do it at the Kakariko well.
Alright, I learned something today. Oh, the ice rod.
Oh, interesting. No, Turtle Rock's red crystal. Oh, that is interesting. That's a good spot for that. Hopefully Nito does not forget about the old magic bat. But yeah, they do need the ice rod this seed. Usually when you get an ice rod early, it means you don't actually need it. But they actually do this seed.
Nito getting his mirror preview, but it is going to remain a preview because still 5 power bombs.
Yeah, just go into Brinstar. 40 more, so you'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't be afraid, Nito. I think a smart play here from him too. Looks kind of like what he's doing. Gonna go ahead and go to the village, maybe clear Thieves Town. Does have that cape, so 4 heart blind. Blind the boss of Thieves Town would be kind of pretty bad, but with the cape, that's an amazing safety, and he should be a-okay with that. He also filled up his bottles there with some blue potions, so he'll be okay doing that.
Couple fairies coming out of the bushes.
That's better than those like skull face rocks that come out of the bushes. I hate those guys.
Oh, another sword. Very nice. Not going to change the blind fight at all, but I mean, very nice for a multitude of other reasons. Oh, he's getting mobbed by the thief.
I got mobbed by the peak. I like when people dash down through there, because that like section of the village is just dead to me. Like I don't even think about it being a thing. Ooh, grapple, gross. MM2 likes grapple. I don't like grapple. But, you know, sometimes you need to have it to get over the moat to fan tune, you know?
Alright, we're gonna see if we're gonna get a front-loaded Thieves Town or if it's gonna be more like Pod and be business in the front, party in the back. I forget who coined the term mullet mansion, but my god, ever since I heard that described, like Pod described as mullet mansion, I can't let that one go. That's just too funny to me.
That's actually really good. And I'm with you. I can't remember who I first heard that from. Nito doing what I said MM2 should have done in getting that 5th power bomb back from the fireplace in the left room, but he's gonna realize pretty soon here that he didn't need to do that. So yeah, Thieves Town has the 4 chests in the front. One will absolutely be the big key, and there it was vanilla. I think he did get 3 actual items from the front. I don't know if you saw for sure.
MM2, of course, in possession of the hammer as well, which is going to be useful in case the big chest is required here in Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves Town is really funny that way. It's basically like, if you get the small key early, then hammer could be behind the boss, but if you don't get it early, it can't be, but you can access the big chest if you do have it. It's just really weird logic when you don't have the hammer, and it's best to just have the hammer and not have to worry about it. Does only have 2 hearts though. These little crickets, these little green bugs here, will kill him if he does hit them. So I'm sure he's going to be super careful. Ooh. That's a very astute. Let's see, do they have any item that can get them to Bobo Mountain? I don't think
just
they do.
leaving the 8 bomb drop there, by the way.
He just ignored it.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we're fine.
I was gonna say something about not grabbing the ones under the pods, and then I saw the 8 bomb drop, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And he just left it there.
Yeah, I maybe he wanted them, but he knew that the enemies will kill him in 1 shot, so he didn't want to risk it. He's got 3 hearts now, so it's okay. Sazak will kill him, at least.
There's one there.
Some prizes hearts.
You'll be able to grab a couple in the maiden cell as well if he needs it. In a couple of these pots here.
There is that small key, the last place logically that the small key can be. Luckily MM2 does have the hammer, so you can go ahead and check this. So, looks like, yeah, he didn't have the map or the compass, so he actually didn't need to check this. he could have inferred that map and compass are here and then on blind. But that's okay. It's hard to keep track of those things.
I'm expecting to see that cape come out, but maybe he'll do this with confidence. Good start.
Yeah, that was a good first phase. Looks like he's setting up for the second phase nicely. Oh, very nice. Yeah, basically if you can hit blind, basically the first frame that he's vulnerable, they call it a scripted fight, and you can, ooh, plasma on blind. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I just have bad vision and couldn't see that he did already have the compass. At any rate,
Pretty good Thieves Town. I mean, Varia and then Plasma, of course, being beneficial, not progression, but always comfy.
The thing is, when you find Plasma, or Spazer for that matter, you have to, if you find it in the Link to the Past, you have to remember to turn it on once you get to Super Metroid. Otherwise, it doesn't help you if it's off. Reason for that, if you aren't aware, in Super Metroid, you can't have Spazer and Plasma beams on at the same time, so it just has them auto turned off. Because otherwise you'll crash your game.
M2 went for the CWJ. Has grapple, but I mean, I don't blame him for at least trying. Gonna nope out though, not gonna say hi to Fantoon.
That's interesting. I think you should keep going if you have grapple. Some people do like to go ahead and check out these 3 items here at the top of Red Tower before they decide what to do. But the grapple without gravity suit, I find, is really telling, and I think it's really pointing to go to the wreck ship. But we'll see.
Oh, okay, well, we're 2/3 of the way to the microwave beam.
Yeah, very nice find, that X-ray scope. We just need the charge beam to unlock the microwave, which is super easy kill against Dragon and even Fantoon. Fantoon's a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. But yeah, mostly Batoon and Dragon is where you want to see that. Nito's actually going to go ahead and scout this Climb Supers item. MM2 did not scout it. Chose not to, even though he had a lot of power bombs and would have been perfectly safe doing so. We'll see if that comes back to bite him at all.
Ooh, just a bottle.
Just a bottle. So yeah, kind of the same philosophy as people use for not checking Lumberjack. They wait till they have the Pegasus boots to check that, since you need that item for sure. To go ahead and grab that. Some people will wait till they have Speed Booster to scout this item. I understand both camps. I'm kind of a scouter if I can, kind of thing, but ooh, M2. Gonna go for the X-ray check. That grapple beam obviously gives you easy access. Space Jump 2 would be great, but yeah, going for it. This is a good check. This can be left behind easily, especially if you go from Brinstar to Parade. Just a missile today, but it's pretty often an item that's kind of forgotten about, because a lot of times when you are in Brinstar early, and you go to Crade, you don't have an item that gets you over here easily, but today we do.
And although that X-ray check normally requires grapple, requires is a very loose term for our runners, and I know Nito at least can do the damage boost strats over to it. There's basically a very impressive set of damage boosts that runners can do to reach the X-ray item without having grapple. Tends to be pretty dangerous, especially if you don't have Varia, but none of that today. Or at least not yet. I'm not saying Nito's not going to do it. He's already shown off other things, and we'll see what happens. Right now he's struggling with these terrible wall jumps.
Yeah, these don't let the looks fool you. These wall jumps are annoying. Because you actually have to kind of do... He gets it there perfectly. They're delayed wall jumps, so you can't just do the wall jump right away, kind of all willy-nilly. You have to wait a second and then do your wall jump, and they're just a lot more particular than kind of your standard wall jump. MM2 gonna go into Crade now. I assume Nito will just kind of get his mirror hair and go into A Link to the Past, and then check kind of in the east of the mountain area.
We're definitely getting to that kind of inevitable point where runners are going to start to double up, and the two of them will start to check things they already have. MM2 is going to have the advantage of having the Varia suit. So when he goes down to the high jump boots area, he'll actually be able to go over to Bubble Mountain and do all of that very quickly without any form of farming or hell run. And yeah, that's I think where we're gonna see him probably get a little bit of a routing edge in terms of the early game. There's still lots of game left, of course, but I think that's gonna help him prevent a couple double backs.
Yeah, honestly, if I had to guess, nice quick call by MM2 as well, by the way. MM2 actually, as far as normal logic goes, he doesn't have an item to get him up Bubble Mountain, unless I'm wrong. Other than that spring ball, he could spring ball jump to get up Cathedral, which is not in logic in normal, but it is possible to do if you wanted to sequence break that. I would guess that maybe something like space jump or bombs are at East Death Mountain, and that's what it wants you to do anyway. So if he goes ahead and breaks that, he could have a pretty strong advantage over Nito.
Right, Nito not having grapple. Gonna see he's probably gonna scout out at least this one item.
Yeah, I think people at least like try to do the CWJ, and they kind of let that, whether or not they get it, they let that kind of confirm whether they should go or not.
Oh.
MM2 or Nito is nicely done. Second try CWJ, very nicely done. This is pretty interesting because that is MM2's other option, is coming here to the wreck ship with that grapple. There's bombs. That's can fly in normal mode, so this could very well be the kind of required path that these runners are supposed to take.
Had we seen MM2 come over here with the grapple and get bombs, then that obviously would put Bubble Mountain in logic. So hopefully he goes down that way and gets something lucrative. But Nito, I'm really shocked went this route, only because he generally advocates against early wreck ship, or at least he did for a long period of time. I know the logic changed at one point where we started seeing more lucrative items in wreck ship, so hopefully he's thinking that this will be a difference maker, especially where he doesn't have grapple in his inventory right now. He might think this is something that's way outside of actual logic. But as we know, and as we can see on MM2's side, he has grapple, and we know that this is already in logic in some capacity.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to say. Like I think for me, I personally think like, okay, if it's something like grapple that is putting this, or bombs that's putting this in logic, like I don't necessarily want grapple that badly. so I could just break it anyway. And even MM2, like checking the ice beam location and the crumble tower location, like that's speed booster locked here in normal. Like speed booster is something you kind of do want, but going ahead and checking them if you can anyway, not a bad choice at all. But yeah, surprised to not see either of these runners having gone to East Death Mountain yet. I think that's where MM2 is headed, right here, right now. But still, it's kind of funny to see that check like 50 minutes in when it could have been checked like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really, really item dense spot, and it's pretty quick off of the area by high jump boots there.
Yeah, I think the worst part is that like Hera is a pendant, and Hera also has the possibility of being fire source locked, with something there in the big key chest in the basement. Well, Nito doing a Crystal Flash in the Phantoon fight. He had 39 energy, which he doesn't have Varia. He just has the power suit. So Fantoon and his flames will do 40 damage. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Like in the middle of the fight, doing a crystal flash to get his energy back up. That was amazing. The scary thing is, like, if you get hit by something during a crystal flash, like, it has the ability to just straight up kill you. Because you don't have iframes when you're in the crystal flash. That was amazing.
See if any of our runners are going to get dead rocked today.
Oh, I'm sure. The dead rocks do not. They're relentless. Wow. Ooh, MM2 is making quite a spike cave. Like, you don't really see this as kind of like a right away play. Like, you see this kind of later usually. There's a fire rod in the wreck ship. Because of course it is.
It is nice to have a fire source aside from bombos. Like an actual fire source, not just like a kill enemies, enter Ice Palace fire source.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bombos will not light up any rooms, will not light any torches. Fire rod, you do need to finish Skullwoods and also Turok, which are both crystals. So that fire rod is needed. That's luckily a pretty easy enough spot that MM2 would get it. Can't say the same for kind of the top part of Wreck Ship. Some people like to go ahead and skip the entire thing. We'll see what Nito chooses to do.
You mind if I jump in real quick?
Go for it.
We're about $140 away from unlocking the Dungeon Explorer 2 upgrade to any % Princess Crown Cam. So get those donations in, guys, and let's get that incentive unlocked because that run's coming up a little bit later. And also make sure you go ahead and follow these runners. They're doing a heck of a job doing this SMZ3 race, so really doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's donated so far for the Canadian Cancer Society. Super appreciate it.
Nito finding flippers. Didn't see MM2 grab anything of relevance in this side yet, which is unfortunate because that was a lot of items, but looking at his tracker, I'm not seeing any significant changes. But yeah, Nito has found both Fire Rod and flippers here in Wreck Ship.
Yeah, those flippers are actually in a really interesting spot. If you missed it, he had to do a what we call sponge bath in the Super Metroid community, doing a jump off of a power bomb to get up on that ledge. So this item, these flippers, are actually not in logic in normal mode without either high jump boots or space jump or gravity. So that kind of gives neatorific a lot of information, depending on where he eventually finds those things. He can maybe infer that it's likely that gravity is not in Ice Palace, that kind of thing. There's nothing that they have, I don't believe, that puts that item in logic, actually. So, that's actually pretty interesting for neatorific.
You handled that much better than I did because I find the item and I'm just like, ooh, that's not in logic, and then my brain just stops.
I think if I was actually playing, I would not realize that. But watching, that's actually a really interesting place for something good, something required to be in normal mode. Cause yeah, like we were kind of saying, MM2 quote unquote should have gone to the wreck ship because he found that grapple and puts the wreck ship in logic, but grapple does not put that item in logic.
Nito getting disappointed by the robot item. That's nothing unusual.
Yeah, that is not unusual. In this kind of wreck ship where you already have the fire rod and you already found the flippers, like this is one that's more likely to have people just go ahead and leave after those flippers and say heck it, because the top is pretty annoying on all accounts. Honestly, like the wreck ship reserve, you can't get without speed. He's gonna go ahead and scout it. The sky item you can peek before actually going in, but you don't have to. And then the super sky, the sky missiles, as we call, kind of. I think his only option is to ride the trippers, kind of the vanilla way to scout that item. So we'll see what he chooses to do.
You'd also, I guess, be able to IBJ up there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither of those are great options.
Yeah, exactly. They're both slow. The IBJ isn't logic. Any of the trippers are in logic anyway. You can jump up to the item without high jump boots or anything. The thing is just really slow. That's all it is.
Oh no, you missed it.
No, Nito! Come back! He's gonna try for the IBJ. That's like the thing about normal mode that I don't like. I'm like, normal mode always wants you to IBJ everywhere. I hate it. IBJ is actually hard. Like, I'm someone who's played Super Metroid much longer than I played A Link to the Past, and infinite bomb jumping is actually annoying and difficult. It is a blue mail though, not required, but nice.
I liked the slick little power bomb at the end to uncover the item and then boost over into it. That was pretty nice too.
I like that too. I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. Probably too scared to ever try it, kind of thing.
Blue mail, of course, nice. Not progression, but I feel like Wreck Ship has really paid off in terms of that's at least 3 substantial items that we can talk about. Blue mail just being really convenient for Dark World, because everything hits hard in Dark World, and you don't want to be roaming around taking 4 hearts of damage from stuff while you're in Green Tunic.
Absolutely, and MM2 is he gonna try to deboost off this Soba? He's gonna give it a try, and then I assume. Oh my gosh, nicely done! First try. I've never attempted to do that, so I don't know how difficult it is personally. But definitely not in logic. But we do know that since neatorific found those normal bombs in ocean, that these checks are actually in logic. I kind of assume that, like, the lamp is gonna be over here, or the lamp is like in Skull Woods behind the fire rod that Nito found. Let's see if M2 finds some other good stuff over here.
Alright, Nito. Last couple checks here. I mean, you've gotten your value out of Wreck Ship. See if it gives you any more. Oh my god.
Wow. The Master Sword is very nice. So the sword. Where was MM2's Master Sword? Do you remember? I don't remember.
Trying to think back. Thieves Town? Because I made comment that it didn't impact blind, so I want to say Thieves Town or Treasure Chess Game.
Chess game. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, chess game. So yeah, same thing basically. But yeah, that'll be Nito's tempered sword. Most likely.
There we go.
Wow, Titansmiths. That's wow. That's a thing. That means like. That's a lot of places for Lamp to be. I know I'm making a big deal about Lamp, but Lamp is logically required for a lot of things in A Link to the Past. So, see how that ends up being. It's probably an ice palace, to be honest. Which nobody is going to ice palace because it's pendant. Probably. We'll see.
It's funny too because we're seeing kind of two sides of the same coin, because MM2 could have gone to wreck ship logically via the grapple and chose not to, and decided to sequence break into Bubble Mountain. And then we saw Nito sequence break into wreck ship and get the items that would be required to get into Bubble Mountain. It's...
Yeah. That is really funny, and it's kind of, yeah, it's those kind of decisions you make. How much of normal mode do you want to sequence break, given the items that you have? And really working out for Nito there. MM2, gonna go ahead and do this run and jump instead of a bomb jump up here to the wave beam missiles and wave beam item. Checking this criteria power bomb, pretty important item, forgotten a lot, I think. Just nothing though, just 20 rupees.
We can all forget about that 20 rupees.
Yeah, I'll forget about it. That's okay.
Looks like wave location and wave missile not giving anything except for some reservations.
Yeah, absolutely. Nito! So, okay, those mitts are in logic, the flippers are in logic, and of course we know that the Bombos they're an ice red cave, so Ice Palace, very much completable at this point. They have the hook shot and the keenness Mario, which have kind of limited, but they still have logical implications in Ice Palace, which of course is a pendant. If I were MM2, I might do what he's doing here, leave, and then maybe take my flute and my mitts and go ahead and go to the Mire area and see what that Mire medallion is. If it's Bombos, it could be a long time before MM2 actually gets it. He does have Quake and Ether, I believe, already, but Bombos, of course, is in that Ice Rod Cave location, which MM2 took a death to those death crabs early, so does not have at this moment.
I wonder too if it would pay off to go ahead and do Aga, knowing that you have the Cane of Samaria at the Aga location at the Lumberjack before you make your trip into Mire.
That's actually a really good point. I think a lot of the, I guess, quote unquote meta has changed once people discovered Icebreaker, which is the trick in Ice Palace that you need the Key to Samaria for to kind of break it and get to the right side faster. Pretty commonplace in Link to the Past Randomizer and SMZ3 nowadays, but wasn't always a thing. So you know, a lot of times, you know, you don't want to go to Ice Palace, especially Pendant Ice Palace, which may or may not be required without that Key to Samaria. So it'll be interesting to see how soon. I think MM2, I think anybody would want at least the Fire Rod before they do Aga, but most likely the lamp. It's obviously not in logic without the lamp. He does get a mushroom here in Super Money Cave.
Alright, Nito's doing the D-boost method. Has Varia, so it's a little more tame because he's not taking the massive damage off the spikes, and he does have bombs, so he will be able to IBJ up ultimately. Wants to be a little bit careful though, because
he doesn't have Varia.
Oh, he doesn't? No, my mistake.
No, he doesn't. He's being a crazy man. Wow. So, in the randomizer, no, he has to get this spring ball jump or he's dead.
Oh wow.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, still though, he might still be dead. Like, this is just missiles, so...
he can crystal flash.
He needs this crystal flash, yeah, you're right.
Wow, that was something.
He's just gonna reset. He probably saved, either the top or bottom of Red Tower. mm2 actually not finding much of anything of interest there in Hookshot Cave or Super Bunny. He did see that Turtle Rock was Bombos, which he does not have. And he doesn't have the cane either, so he couldn't get into Turtle Rock even if he wanted to. But yeah, I that's pretty gutsy from Nito. If in most of the regular Super Metroid randos, and then here in SMZ3, it kind of tried to. The randomizer kind of had a consensus to kind of split the powers of the gravity in the Varia suit. So now Varia protects completely from environmental damage. So Varia suit is kind of the thing that'll make these spikes not hurt as much. But yeah, if you only have power suit or if you only have gravity suit, they'll do the full 60 damage.
Yeah, that was really done to give Varia actual purpose. Because if you're not going to have progressive suits, then I mean, ultimately, if you have gravity do all of the things that Varia does, plus the things that gravity does, well, you're just always hoping to find gravity early.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we wanted each suit to have a reason. Gives gravity. If you don't want a lot of vanilla, maybe you don't. I can understand that. Gravity suit does provide heat protection in vanilla, so you can just pretend Varia doesn't exist until you get to the rain. Pretty much Varia is just, oh, speaking of gravity, there it is in Mireshed for MM2. But yeah, it won't provide him heat protection in the randomizer. Varia basically is, in vanilla, the protection against the Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam, what makes it so that it only does 3 E-tanks of damage instead of 6.
I always found that a really odd characteristic, to be honest. Like, the fact that it's the part that makes the difference, not that you have suit defenses in general, not that it just does a flat amount based on the fact that it's an expected ending kind of sequence. It's a little bit strange.
Yeah, it really is, because, like, Mother Brain and Rainbow, and then, like, the baby Metroid that you do, that you skip around in Baby Skip is also only affected by Varia suit. Gravity suit doesn't matter there either when the Metroid is, for lack of a better word, sucking you dry. Yeah, it's pretty interesting what kind of things that Varia suit does for you and vanilla, and you probably, if you just played Super Metroid casually, you probably would not even realize at all that is just affected by Varia suit.
I always like to say that I feel like when you look at the overall design of Super Metroid, it feels at times like they really designed the map and then placed the items afterwards. Because, like, post-bot wound, for example, you'd expect the player, through the intended routing, to have speed booster there. Why there's a full morph ball tunnel above that section, I'll never know.
Yeah, I think Super Metroid as a whole is just, it's designed really well. Overall it really teaches you how to use the new items that you get. I think the biggest kind of complaint and consensus that is just bad is that wall in Lower Norfair at the top of the Fireflies room is actually, you can't see through it even with X-ray. I think that's the only thing that you wouldn't really know is kind of a thing if you're playing casually. But other than that, like, it really kind of teaches you how good each item is. Speaking of, Nito actually got over the hair pot here in Pendant Hera. So this trick here, clipping into that pot with the hook shot, finds a small key and a compass here on the 5th floor, or whatever floor this is. So he's gonna go ahead and defeat Moldermite. I didn't see if he got an actual item here on the first floor. He had to have, yeah. Had to, well, maybe not actually. Could be an item on Moldermite and an item in the basement.
Looking at Tower of Hera, he's got 1 item accounted for so far. So, yeah, we're gonna... Oh, no. Well.
Oh, wow. That, yeah. With Charged Plasma, you're definitely gonna kill this golden tree, so... One thing, no matter if you're playing normal or hard mode, if you want to get the item on the left side of Golden Chorizo's room, you have to have space jump, which neither of our runners have. Charged Plasma, though, you can either on the left side or the right side get Golden Chorizo kind of in that position where you can stand on top of him and shoot him and not actually get hit by him. So very nice job for MM2 doing that on the left side. Neo does take down Moldorb. I didn't see if that was the second item or not.
Looks like it was based on his chest counter. Excuse me. Okay, well, I'm guessing he marked it preemptively because he's venturing back in for the basement. So I'm guessing he just marked it off knowing that it was down here. Gonna be able to mirror out, but he's gonna get his coffee break.
Yeah, I guess he decided ahead of time that he's gonna do this no matter what. Interesting. And then 2 does a dreaded spring wall jump to get out of the screw tech room. Not in logic in normal mode, and frankly, they don't have... So in normal mode, to get out of that room, I think you have to have speed or space jump. Speed booster would allow you to do a shine spark from Golden Chorizo's boss room, and then up to the top, and then space jump, of course. Does the thing. Oh, actually bombs too, so never mind. But yeah, do the spring ball jump. MM2, all about the spring ball today. Actually microwaving these pirates. I forgot, yeah, the charge beam is the microwave beam complete for MM2. These pirates, it's not as easy. The karate pirates down kind of a few rooms away, you can actually microwave them without charge beam. It's a little tricky, but it's possible.
Nice little side step and then the spring ball jump there by MM2. I bet he's not regretting picking it up now that he's made some use of it.
I just don't believe this. I just cannot believe that he's using this thing that he claims to hate. I don't believe him that he hates it. This isn't good. He's gonna try a spring ball jump here, so the floor in front of him is all crumble blocks. So he wants to get out without crumbling. Oh, he missed it there. He's gonna have to, yeah, he's just gonna have to go through this enemy room. A little tricky if you don't have both suits and or a lot of health. A lot of people think that's a kill all door, but it's actually a kill only 5 enemies door. So if you've killed at least 5 enemies in that room, that probably has like 10 to 12 enemies. I don't actually know how many for sure, but you just have to kill 5 of the 12 to have that door open for you.
Is that the only kill some door in the game?
You know, I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is.
I can't think of anywhere else off the top of my head where they just said, hey, kill some of the stuff and the door
Yeah. Because the only, like, kill all enemy door that I know of otherwise is, like, the wreck ship attic, which you definitely have to kill all of them, not just a number. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know why that is the case.
Alright, MM2 made his loop back around. Nito doesn't look like he got anything of value out of Hera, so Hera, of course, being a pendant, Unless we end up with both an Aga and a Ped Seed. That unfortunately was just time burned.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a Pendant Hera, Pendant Pod, Pendant Ice Palace. That pretty much means that the only thing that could be on pedestal would be what? Ice Rod or a medallion, and we already have Ice Rod. And we already have all the medallions.
Yeah.
So, pedestal is dead.
Well, I guess Chad will have to be happy with it being an Aga Seed.
Yeah, Aga is only required if there's something on Lumberjack. Ooh, Ice Beam there at Power Bombs of Shame for MM2. Aga is only required if there is an item on the Lumberjack, which is the Cane of Samaria for us today, which is required because Meyer is a crystal and you need the Cane of Samaria to get to Vitreous. Otherwise, it is only required for either Dark World access or if there is the Hammer item on Pyramid Fairy. So getting both the red crystals and going to the fairy at the pyramid. If that happened to have Hammer, then Aga would be required. Not the case today, though. We have just the Cane of Samaria on Lumberjack, so we will be seeing Aga at some point. These guys might be waiting to see the lamp, especially MM2. Nito does have the Fire Rod, which you could light a couple torches in Aga Tower, and everything would be a-okay for getting through there, but it's also kind of, with it only blocking Vitreous, it's fine to go ahead and put it off for a while.
MM2 should have a pretty comfy time with this Ridley fight. Lots of supers. For those that don't know at home, supers do double damage against Ridley, so they do a whopping 600 per, and he goes down in 30 of them. And just like that, it's over.
Yeah, super quick fight there from MM2. Getting Ridley out of the way is pretty nice. Lower Norfair, if you think of it in terms of A Link to the Past, probably the most linear quote-unquote dungeon. The only items that are really like out of the way are that Mickey Mouse missile, as we like to call it, which was that room that MM2 had to kill 5 enemies in. But everything else is pretty much on path that you don't go too much out of your way to check anyway, so you might as well get it done when you can.
You know, use the bomb method to skip the draining the left side or whatever it is there. I am blanking on the swamp version of, it's not Icebreaker, what is it called? I can't remember. Diver Down.
Diver Down,
there
yep.
we go. Brain had to kick in there for a moment. Yeah, Diver Down is the version that you'll see in Swamp Palace, and did the bomb method.
Let's get 2 items here on the left side. You might see a lot of people just go ahead and, because if you've already done the back and killed Argus and all of that jazz, you can't really do Diver Down anymore. At least not the fastest version. I don't really know. I don't do Diver Down. I've never done it in my life, and I think I'll just stick with that. Because it gives me an excuse to not check left side swamp ever. But yeah, here, so it is possible that it's just the map and the compass there on the left side, so you can get really hecked over doing that first. But neatorific luckily got at least 2 items. They weren't needed items, but at least it wasn't a complete waste of time.
You guys are going to see it again on your right side of the screen here. He's going to place a bomb, and then poof.
Boop. I think that's the typical NMG strat. I could be wrong. No major glitches. So basically, you're any percent of A Link to the Past. Also, a thing I've never run, so take my talking with a grain of salt. But I think that's kind of the standard strat in NMG, A Link to the Past.
Honestly, Link to the Past is a game that like I became hooked on the randomizers, and I eventually learned vanilla just to do it, but I feel like it's a game that I appreciate for what it is, and I love it from my childhood and the nostalgia I have for it, but it's a game that I have no interest in playing vanilla anymore. I think randomizer just ruined vanilla Link to the Past for me, to the point where, and even to the point where SMZ3 ruined Link to the Past rando for me. The only way that I play Link to the Past in any capacity anymore is when I play SMZ3.
I'm with you there. I actually never played A Link to the Past when I was a kid. I think we had it. I've got older brothers and I'm the youngest, and I just don't remember it if my brothers played it, kind of thing. So I learned it vanilla, and I started playing a first time run, and then kind of started a randomizer in the middle of my first vanilla run, kind of thing. So I don't have as much of a connection to it. I do remember playing Super Metroid as a kid, though. But yeah, I think if I hadn't played Super Metroid as a kid, I maybe would not bother, because I'm just all about the rando now. I am not good at any percent Super Metroid, and then I've never done A Link to the Past NMG, because why would I do that? I don't have the connection to it. But
I was the late bloomer when it came to Super Metroid. I didn't play Super Metroid until a few years ago, and I was somebody that found the idea of picking up any percent really daunting and intimidating, for the obvious reason that like Super Metroid is a very high skill ceiling game, and it's very, in my opinion, easy to look at a runner and see somebody who's top level versus somebody who's just learning the game. I used to think that Super Metroid was extremely floaty, and while I still believe there's aspects of that, once you learn how to control it, it's an incredible game. So I was somebody that I used the rando as a way to learn about the game and learn tricks and learn things like mock ball, because I didn't want to stack myself up against other people doing any percent, because it was just too daunting for me. Hey, there's another sword.
Hey, our last sword behind Speed Booster. Who knows where that is?
And I feel like Super Metroid is a game that I really appreciate the randomizer, because you get to utilize so much of the tech that the game has. Like Super Metroid oozes tech, but I feel like once you package it into any percent, you lose a lot of the fun stuff that you see in rando. So that's what I love about rando. You see a lot of the things that our runners are showcasing. MM2, are you gonna... Okay, I was like, you're not gonna showcase that shield or that spazer.
Yeah, MM2.
Where are you going? Oh, okay.
Oh, come on, MM2. Don't be that way. Yeah, I think a lot of the randomizer tricks, like, you're not going to see those in a vanilla category. Cause yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I did play Super Metroid as a kid, and I remember, like, wanting as a child to get 100% and not actually, and like trying and waiting to see what the number said at the end, because I didn't actually know if I got everything or not. Like nowadays I would be like, yeah, I obviously got everything, or I obviously didn't. But yeah, it's just a different experience when you've played it as a child. And I really like the randomizer and all the tricks that you could learn, and kind of where it started. It's really just grown, and it is super technical, Super Metroid as a whole, especially 80%. I think A Link to the Past, kind of its more technical aspects as far as movement and room strats go, are a little bit more subtle, and kind of the average person can't really see them right away. So it kind of makes Super Metroid look a little bit cooler, but A Link to the Past does have a ton of super technical little things about it and room strats, and you wouldn't know unless somebody told you, kind of thing.
I am definitely one of those people because I can guarantee you that I probably bleed time in Link to the Past in ways that I don't even know I'm bleeding time, and anyone who's spent more time with the game could easily give me the education on that. But it's 100% true. There's a lot of little details to movement. There's the lamp.
There it is in Schoolwoods. I feel like I said that it's probably in Schoolwoods a long time ago, like when we got the fire rod.
So yeah, it's and the games play really well together. I feel like, you know, there's different elements to Link to the Past than there is to Super Metroid in terms of the type of movement and the type of gameplay, and I feel like Link to the Past has a lot of that planning phase, a lot of the, you know, you have more locations in Link to the Past, it's a little more broad right off the bat, and then you kind of hit Super Metroid for those fast areas and the more, you know, controller input heavy aspect of the game.
Yeah, it's a really interesting combination. What I'll call again developer magic, but something about kind of the two games take up. I don't know how to describe it exactly because I'm not a developer, a coder, or a computer person, but just basically take up two sides of the same kind of cartridge here. MM2 nicely doing, wow, a snail clip to get the Book of Medora and the Wave Beam. Wave Beam would put Krugmire in logic, but those are both blocked behind the speed booster. So I guess they basically like take up two sides of the memory, quote unquote, of some kind of cartridge. That kind of thing. So they basically are able to be combined naturally. As weird it is, but yeah, like A Link to the Past has much more, like many more items that are actually like hard required to complete the game. Whereas Super Metroid, it's like you get Morph Ball and you get some sort of bombs, and the rest are negotiable, kind of thing. It's kind of the joke, like. Everything in Super Metroid other than Morph Ball and either power bombs or bombs is like can be replaced by something else in the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Link to the Past is not exactly like that. Like you have to have hammer or you have to have mitts unless you do some crazy non-legal race glitches.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly summarized. Basically, you know, Super Metroid, a lot of items can be replaced by, if not other items, then supplementing it with tech, you know, to the point where you can skip Gravity Suit and do all of the underwater sections suitless. You know, you can do the power bomb clip into Bot Wound, which I think is great. There's high jump boots. Not gonna keep them, but there they are.
Aww. Man, he took a while to reset those. He was thinking about it. He wanted to keep those. A lot of people love those high jump boots.
This is actually kind of interesting because I feel like, again, we're watching our runners explore two separate areas, although they have a lot of the same items still at this point.
Yeah, they really do. I think kind of the only like big difference is that MM2 has not been to the wreck ship. MM2 showing off another thing that's blocked behind Speed Booster if you want to come here the front way through Batoon. Normal mode actually logically requires the Speed Booster, the Ice Clip not in logic, but he could of course get here with his Dark World access and the flippers, which are also in the wreck ship, so...
That's something that, well, speaking of Speed Booster.
Wow, so yeah, the seed wants you to come through the portal over at what's called Dark Shopping Mall in A Link to the Past, over on the right side of the Dark World. Past a bunch of water. So behind Dark World access and the flippers is that Speed Booster, and therefore this Dragon and Meridia. An interesting spot for the Speed Booster in normal.
MM2 started what looked like was going to be an attempt at halfie, then realized that he didn't keep those high jump boots, and that was probably not going to happen. Nice damage boost, though. Aww.
Yeah, this Coliseum is pretty interesting. About the space jump, you can do some deboosts to get yourself up to stay on top of the spikes. And some people, I think MM2 is one of these people. He just wants to use grapple beam as much as he can, no matter what. Nito finally getting that very grapple, kind of seeing that, okay, now my whole wreck ship endeavor, other than the flipper still, I still don't think, does Nito have gravity yet? I don't think so.
I don't think he's picked it up yet. There's his tempered sword.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the mitts yet, I don't believe.
No.
So yeah, he's thinking to himself, okay, my fire rod isn't logic now. Which means his lamp, well, lamp was maybe in front? I'm not sure. But anyway, Nito putting a lot more things in logic now, as far as Link to the Past, MM2, guess the spike suit with spring ball on. I hear that is difficult to do. I cannot do a spike suit to save my life. So I don't know. But very nicely done. Defeats Dragon. Has all of the SM bosses except Fantoon done. And Fantoon, if the top of Wreck Ship doesn't have any required items, which it doesn't in the seed, can be just a quick in and out before Mother Brain.
It's a nice gravity jump. Gravity jumps are super easy to do. Basically, you just start your jump with gravity suit on, and then right at the very start of the jump, you unequip gravity suit and you kind of keep that upwards momentum. But of course, you have so much momentum underwater when there's use of that spike suit. You have so much momentum underwater, and then you don't move as you normally would without gravity, so it kind of flings you upwards. Really easy tech. Encourage you to give it a try yourself if you're ever curious, because it's not hard to get down.
Gravity jump is actually like my number one thing for anyone who plays this randomizer on normal mode or wants to play it and feels intimidated by Super Metroid, even Super Metroid normal mode. Like, gravity jump is so easy to learn and much more consistent, in my opinion, than infinite bomb jump. And infinite bomb jump is in logic in normal mode, but gravity jumps are not. But gravity jump can take you really far in normal mode. So I would definitely encourage, that's the first thing I would encourage someone to learn, who's kind of wondering what they should focus on, and that's the number one thing in my opinion.
Oh, are we getting a Shack tool check?
Oh no. Wow. Yeah, those high jump boots puts the Shack tool in logic, so you need to have, of course, the grapple and gravity suit. But Shack tool in normal mode requires also high jump or space jump. High jump boots were right there, so MM2, gonna go ahead and get what? So what do our runners need still? So Nito has Ice Rod. So Nito just needs to go to Upper Norfair to get his mitts. Is that go mode for Nito? And then MM2 is in go mode with what? Bombos? Which he missed at Ice Rod Cave, remember? And then Lamp, which is
too.
Oh yeah, he does need flippers for Swamp Palace. That's true. So yeah. So MM2 just needs to do the bottom part of Wreck Ship to be in go mode. But he does need to go back to that Ice Rod Cave. Who knows when he's gonna go back to that? I don't know. Maybe he's forgotten. Or he comes out the back portal here, which he's not really close to, so I doubt he's gonna do that. And then mirrors to Ice Rod Cave. Yeah, that could be really bad for him too, missing that Ice Rod Cave from 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the game already. Like, was that already the losing play? Dying to those crabs. That would be really sad.
That would be pretty sad. Nito got a little off script there. He threw in a hammer shot against Blind for some reason. I don't know if that was just for swag, but he got a little off kilter as a result of it. Hammer Blind is not fun, by the way. If anyone's had to try it, it is not a good time.
Honestly, like, before I knew the script, and I say that with an asterisk, I don't know the script. I find that if you can do like 1.5 phases of the script, you're in pretty good shape most of the time. I remember like asking like, why is Hammer Blind so much easier than Sword Blind? Like, just kind of a funny thing, like when I was a big beginner to the game, like thinking that Hammer Blind was easier than using my sword. So, yeah, you know, different things for different people, I guess. Now I don't think that at all. Now, Sword Blind is way easier than Hammer Blind, but there was a time where I thought Hammer Blind was easier.
MM2 picked up his tempered sword via the speed booster there. Do not think that's a bad idea at all. He obviously doesn't know where the fourth one is off the top of his head. He doesn't have the knowledge that we have. But tempered is much, much easier than Master Sword Ganon. Master Sword Ganon definitely possible, just not fun.
Yeah, the difference there with the Master Sword, you have to actually do spins to do any damage to him, and also if you have the silver arrows to turn him blue so that you can shoot him with the silver arrow, you have to actually do spin attacks rather than just swatting at him with the tempered or the gold sword. So, and then the required spins, if you were not to have silver arrows, it's actually 24 required spins for phase 4 with just the Master Sword, but if you have tempered or gold, it's only 12. These guys do have the silver arrows, so that is a-okay there, but still, Master Sword is a lot harder. You definitely, I think you definitely want to have that half magic. If you are only having the Master Sword, it pairs well with trying to get that torch glitch. Whereas if you have tempered or gold plus silver arrows, you don't really have to worry about torch glitch at all. And in fact, in some ways, it's actually better to not get the torch glitch. But yeah, MM2, ending up here checking the kind of two, debatably, but the two longest checks in Super Metroid, which is Shack Tool and Plasma, require a lot of items to get to, neither of them paying out. Shack Tool just being a missile, and Plasma being a heart container, neither of which are required. Well, Nito here, going ahead and doing Aga Tower, has that lamp, so is going to be able to get his Keen of Sumaria. Only thing he's really missing is the mitts from Speed Booster.
I'm not seeing gravity on his tracker yet, but I know Nito can.
Oh yeah, gravity.
No gravity. That being said, I also don't think he has his grapple yet either. So I don't know what is required for him to do no gravity suit, but I would expect that he's probably hoping to find that.
Yeah, so if you... Okay, good. MM2 actually is getting his bombos there from the Ice Red Cave. So that's good, because that is required. If I recall correctly, that is the medallion that you need to get into... Was it Meyer? Or was it just Turtle Rock? I don't remember. Anyway, he's got it, though.
Turtle Rock. Misery Meyer is apparently Ether.
Oh, okay. So maybe they don't need bombos as wrong then. But either way, yeah. So The interesting thing about Sula's Meridia, if Nito were to want to do it, like high jump boots are one thing that you really would want for Sula's Meridia, and they are actually in Meridia. So, pretty unlikely that Nito goes to make that play anytime soon. Ice Beam? I'm trying to remember where Ice Beam was. Do you remember?
I don't think anybody... Oh, wait, no.
MM2 has it.
MM2 does have it because he did the ice clip into...
Oh, it was Power Bombs of Shame.
Ah, okay.
So not impossible for Nito to get, obviously, but not fantastic either. Like, you would go to Lorne Arthur before you would go to Sula's Meridia in this case. I think the biggest thing is the high jump boots. It is possible to go ahead and get through Sula's Meridia without the high jump boots, but it's not great and really slow, and just you would rather just have the gravity suit or the high jump boots, which obviously are going to be in front of the Sula's Meridia here in normal mode.
Oh no, MM2 just tried to check the cave when he was jumping in, and I don't think he initially realized that... Oh, boof. I don't think he initially realized that he didn't have the flippers still, because he just dove right in, but now he's going to do the splash cancel again. We are getting so many splash cancels. Oh no! It happened again.
This is kind of interesting because Fire Rod and Flippers, I think, are the only things that MM2 needs. And just like the odds of Fire Rod being... Obviously, Flippers cannot be here. This is out of logic without the Flippers. So the odds of Fire Rod being here is very low. So it's kind of funny that he's even trying to check this. Are you gonna get like convergence on Zora at 144 in?
Alright, well, I mean, there's worse items that you can get for 500 rupees.
That's true. Interesting to note, too, that Nito does not have Charge Beam, but MM2 does. I haven't checked in on their super missile count lately, but you do need the equivalent of 60 super missiles to defeat Mother Brain.
If Nito's tracker is accurate, he should have 45 right now.
Okay, so let's see. So Nito is going to get a skin of Samaria. MM2 has 70 missiles and 50 supers. But he also has Ice Beam too. Ice Beam makes it so you can skip the Zebs. So therefore not having to refill your ammo at that point. The kind of consensus in Super Metroid Rando is that you want 40 missiles and 60 supers, or the equivalent of such. The 40 missiles, and that's with Ice Beam. So if you don't have Ice Beam and are able to skip the Zebs, then it's a little bit different, because you have to go and refill after killing so many Zebs. But at the end, you'll kind of see MM2 is going to be in a pretty comfy position. 40, so the glass tank of Mother Brain and her brain. So the glass tank, you need at least 6 projectiles to open a hole in the tank, and then you need 3,000 damage to damage down the brain part and get through Mother Brain 1. And then Mother Brain 2 phase takes the equivalent of 60 supers to defeat. And then of course it's the Rainbow Beam and Mother Brain 3, which is scripted fairly.
This will be good for MM2. He's going to end up getting a good majority of, well, I guess all of his last items here, I think, as you mentioned. Oh, he'll still have to go back and get Samaria. I guess he'll still have to do his Aga sequence. But he wait, did he? I don't think he's even checked that yet, has he? Did he go back and check that?
He did,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, he eventually did. So he knows Samaria is there. But yeah, I think you're right. As long as he gets the Fire Rod here, And as long as he doesn't leave, and goes ahead and checks the Wreckship E-Tank, I think he will be in go mode.
MM2, why are we damage boosting off the flames?
He just wants to show how they only do 10 damage now that he has Gravity Suit.
Oh. So Phantoon, if you do want to get the microwave, essentially you have to initially damage him with a missile before using the microwave portion. There we go.
Yeah, that's for sure the hard part about using microwave beam on Phantoon is getting you in a position where you can do the missile and then do kind of the jump so he stays low to the ground. And then you're able to microwave him because you can't use the X-ray scope if you are airborne. You have to be on the ground, so Samus has to be on the ground in order to use the X-ray. And then kind of the way you do that when he's floating around, you have to kind of do a jump before he goes off screen high enough, and I don't know the technical aspect of it, but it kind of counteracts him and makes him stay kind of low to the ground when he flies at you. Yeah, there's one from Go mode for MM2. Oh, is neatorific? Does he have either suit? He doesn't, does he? No, he's Variant. Okay. So he needs to get the Titan's Mitts up here at Speed Booster, and then I think logically it follows that you get gravity at Meyer Shed when you have Mitts and Flute. We'll see. It's a little bit different in SMZ3, just kind of the wider range of checks available than just standard A Link to the Past, but these guys could be in go mode at pretty similar times.
Yeah, it's a big piece of the combo rando that you have to account for the portals when you're actually determining your logic. I'll never forget the first time that I found Mitts in Meyer, which, being new to SMZ3 at the time, was really like, but it's definitely possible. And yeah, there's MM2 with his flippers. We're gonna see how he plays this. If he knows what we believe he knows, he should exit out of Wreckship immediately. Unless, no, there's nothing really, like, there's convenience items, but there's nothing else he could need.
Yeah, he's got that tempered sword, he's got the silver arrows and the bow. Yeah, I think it's just go at this point. He could just go ahead and do Mother Brain at this time. He's got the full beam combo, the charge, Ice Wave, Plasma. Yeah, he could just do Mother Brain. It's a little bit faster, if you can, to do Mother Brain first. It's not as common, but when you leave Mother Brain, the timer doesn't actually exist. You have kind of the exploding planet, but without the timer, there's not lag, interestingly enough. So it's a little bit faster. You can go up the climb and just go through the A Link to the Past portal, there where the criteria map station is. So it's slightly faster to go ahead and clear Super Metroid before A Link to the Past, but it's not the most common thing that you see first. Oh, and here's go mode for neatorific. This is interesting because MM2 still has to do AGA, and neatorific already has that done. What else? So Nito has Skullwoods done, and MM2 still has to do this. Did MM2 do Meyer already? I think he did.
MM2 is showing Thieves Town and Eastern Palace done, as well as all Super Metroid bosses, so MM2 has 5 crystals left. Nito is showing that he still needs to do Dragon and Ridley on his tracker, and then he's got Desert Palace and Meyer, as well as T-Rock left. So Nito's got a couple of Super Metroid bosses that MM2 doesn't have, and MM2 just has 5 crystal dungeons left to do, as well as Aga.
Wow. Yeah, this is pretty close. I think the Ridley that Nito does not have done and the Aga that MM2 doesn't have done is pretty comparable. Dragon is pretty quick. Meyer Vitreous, depending on where that big key is pretty quick, but I don't think either of them have actually been inside Meyer, so it's going to be about the same for both of them. Oh, Nito! Is he going to Croc?
He is
not
going to Croc.
Oh no! This is bad for Nito. Wait, he's not going! Oh. Okay.
Okay.
He's just taking this way because if you don't have Speed Booster, this is like a little bit faster if you've got Space Jump or Grapple to go through this Croc escape. Maybe this item was something that he might have liked to have. No, not really. But yeah, it's slightly faster, I think, than going through Cathedral. It might not even be. I don't know. I've never timed it. But also maybe if he didn't actually check the item beforehand, it's pretty heads-up play. Yeah, so Nito, hopefully, so it kind of seems like he wants to go ahead and check Dark Death Mountain, Hookshot Cave, and Super Money before doing anything else, but hopefully, naturally, he goes ahead and does the Meyer area, Meyer Shed, to get his gravity suit.
Nice attempted baby skip. Not an easy trick by any means.
I agree with that. I've never done baby skip, and
I'll make it look like I'm trying, but I'm not really trying, and I just have not put in any time to learn it.
Exactly. I'll pretend. I'll be like, yeah, baby skip, here we go.
Yeah.
And
I'll run forward a little bit and then like try and get him to circle me a couple times and be like, and I'm caught.
A lot of people, like, I think most people won't even attempt it without high jump boots, because it pretty much ends up being slower. Even if it's possible without high jump boots, it ends up being slower because you have to do more jumps. And then the second thing I think that people don't like doing it without is the wave beam to actually cut through all those vines. But one thing MM2 can skip is those Zebs. Very nice ice Zeb skip there. Looked like possibly the down back setup.
Threaded through there very nicely and even froze all the Rinkos in one go. I always feel like I want to say 30, but if I'm not wrong, is it 20 shots on Mother Brain with full beam combo? I'm so used to super numbers at this point that...
Full beam, yeah, it's just 20 shots with the full beam. Yeah, it's 30 supers on Mother Brain. 60
supers. Right?
Or, yeah, 60 supers, sorry, yeah. 30 supers in Ridley. I was like, wait, that's not right.
I was like, I've been making this so much harder on myself all along.
Yeah, 20 shots with the full beam, plasma, wave, ice, and charge. Kind of your standard if you do any percent old route that actually gets the plasma beam. You don't get plasma and you get spacer, then it is 60 shots. The same as supers, but obviously in any percent you're not gonna get that many supers. Even if you tried, you could, in the vanilla game, you could not get 60 supers. Oh, Needle. So he's opening up Turtle Rock. Do you think he would go in? Oh, I hope not. But kind of not having gravity or high jump, it's kind of tempting. Nito, don't do it! Don't do it, Nito!
Yeah, I feel like T-Rock is one of those things that it can be hit or miss in terms of if you go mode it. Like, sometimes you don't even really save too much time attempting to go mode T-Rock, just the way that the items fall. So he might be making this play thinking that it's an item-dense dungeon, knowing that it's probably the least beneficial of the things that he has left that he would get to go mode. Yeah, that's I get the reason why. Because like you have to do the dungeon anyway, so you might as well do it. Where the shed, although it's next to Meyer, is an overworld check. So maybe his mind is just going to let's complete dungeons.
I think Turtle Rock's a pendant, though. Am I wrong? No, it's Ice Palace and Pot. So Turtle Rock is a crystal, right?
Yeah, Turtle Rock's a red crystal.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, good. I was gonna say, like, ooh, this is a pendant, though. Okay, so this isn't bad. And I think the thinking here, too, is, like, he was already on the mountain to go ahead and check Hookshot Cave. You don't want to have to climb the mountain again. Like, that's another 30 to 60-second time loss if you have to reclimb the mountain, going ahead and doing this. So I would even understand if it was pendant. You kind of want to take the gamble and not have to climb the mountain again. But okay, that's good. This is a crystal. He has to do this anyway. Not really gonna lose time doing this, especially if I didn't see if he already got the big key or not. Maybe he did. If the big key is vanilla in Turtle Rock, you basically don't lose any time. Whether you go mode it or you fast clear it, or you full clear it. But I think with that being a key and then the compass chest being a heart piece, I think he does already have the big key, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think the only X factor that you run into is Mimic Cave.
Yeah, exactly. If the big key, which it looks like, yeah, okay, he has the big key already. So the vanilla big key spot is this next chest coming up here at Lava Chest. If the big key were to be vanilla and you were in go mode, you would kind of have to go outside anyway. But yeah, the only time you're gonna end up losing is not having to mirror over to Mimic Cave, which is probably like 20 seconds total that Nito's probably gonna lose here.
This is gonna be one of those situations too where he's just, it'll be little by little, but he's gonna kind of perpetually lose time the more things that he ultimately ends up checking. I mean, hopefully he's just gonna know that, hey, I've got these dungeons left and I should prioritize these, and that he should go to Meyer's shed when he does go to take care of Meyer anyways. So at least the overworld item that Gravity is close in relevance to the other places he's going to visit. MM2 still rocking that green tunic. Oh no, this is off to a little bit of a rough start. Potion? Nice. Of course didn't need it, but...
Oh wow, MM2, yeah, that was pretty close. Moth herself will do 2 hearts of damage. The spikes, no matter what melee you have, will do 1 heart. Luckily without Tempered Sword, it is just 4 slashes to Moth to kill her. Thing about Moth, though, is that if you hit her into the spikes, it negates the damage. I think she is the only boss that the spike damage negates the damage to her. And that's by design, just because she's the one with spikes in her room that you can knock her into. So kind of unfortunate. It's kind of a funny thing because the randomizer made it so gold sword damage and spike damage are the same damage class, and in vanilla, A Link to the Past, the gold sword actually won't do any damage to Moth. So the randomizer had to make it so that the gold sword would do tempered damage to Moth, just to make it actually possible to kill her with the gold sword.
And it was always strange to me too, because like, the way that my mind works in terms of order of operations is you're slashing her and then she hits the spikes, so why does she not just take damage from your sword and be in iframes when she hits the spikes? Or why the spikes even applicable at all in terms of damaging her, and just, yeah, the whole situation's actually confusing to me, to be honest.
I definitely agree. Like, I don't see how they hit at the same time. I have no idea.
Nito was met with disappointment on the bridge, which we kind of all knew was coming. Got his Fisher Price shield. Even though apparently it's been proven that it's not the mirror shield that causes extra lag, but apparently the 20th heart, I don't know why that is, and I'm not going to try and figure that one out. But Nito always advocated for the longest time against mirror shield because, oh, it's 2 sprites and it adds extra lag, and eventually that came to not be true.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same deal as the Super Metroid escape timer. Like, just that graphic being on the screen like caused a bunch of lag. So yeah, no matter which shield you have, it had been found that they cause the same amount of lag. So I guess by extension, having the Fisher Price shield is causing the amount of lag that neatorific does not like.
Let's just face it, it's at least, like, it's barely useful for anything. At least the red shield you can justify because it's handy from time to time, but yeah.
Yeah, I've come to like the red shield, and I've come to like the mirror shield too, to be honest. Mirror shield actually, like, in the most normal, most standard Link to the Past by itself randomizer, mirror shield not needed for laser bridge, nothing needed for laser bridge. But if you do play SMZ3 and or entrance randomizer Link to the Past by itself, the mirror shield or blue cane or cape is actually required for the laser bridge items logically, so it could tell you something, especially entrance randomizer cross keys if you find laser bridge early. If you don't have cape or cane or the mirror shield, it could tell you something about the logic. But usually in SMZ3, you know, Turtle Rock is so late in the game normally that you don't really think about that kind of thing.
Nito made the dive into Spike Cave, which of course we saw MM2 do earlier, so it's not like he necessarily lost time in that side-by-side comparison, but again, you know, he's checking more and he's doing more, and every little bit that he does along the way kind of puts him a little bit further behind.
Yeah, these little tiny one-off checks, getting them out of the way, hopefully, like right now, is a signal to go ahead and go to the Mire area. The Mire area for him is, first of all, a clearable dungeon, crystal dungeon.
Oh.
So yeah, he is going. And then second of all, it's a lot of, actually it's 2 clearable dungeons, because I don't believe he's done desert yet either.
He hasn't, so this will actually sum up very nicely. He should head into Shed, get his gravity suit, come back out, finish off Mirror, finish off Desert, and then head to top of the mountain. An extra heart for safety.
Yeah, why not, you know? Go mode for neatorific. He's gonna go ahead and go into Mire and clear it up and hope that the big key is nice and early.
Mire's another one of those dungeons where go mode could mean absolutely nothing based on big key location. It can just show up in the worst possible point and be like, eh.
Yeah, absolutely. The one good thing is that it's possible that it gives you a clue to exactly where the big key is, but it might not. So you just kind of have to go in and see. So what Nito would like is for this first spike chest or the bridge chest to have the big key. He's gonna go in and check the bridge chest first.
Well, to keep it the wrong size. This is where all you intense hover players would hover over the middle section and be like, bye-bye!
You know, like, I always thought that was funny, thinking about that. Meyer, so it has the big key door. Oh, and that's an item. So, not a gunmeyer, but still could figure out fairly quickly where the big key is. So, like, if, for example, Nita were to just try and hover there, there's actually a big key door right in front of Vitreous, as well as right in front of that bridge, which, if you think of it from a vanilla aspect, is kind of pointless, but it's kind of funny in the randomizer when it comes to hovering in the boots. Like, any other dungeon doesn't have that double big key blocking kind of thing, so no matter what, even if you can hover, you do have to get the big key here.
True.
Which it is there in the, I don't even know what chest that is in vanilla. I don't know what's in that chest. It's not the map, and it's not the compass, and it's not vanilla big key. I don't know what's in that chest. Probably a small key. Out in the lobby there. So, yeah, some people will go ahead and go into that room where he can hit the switch to make those pegs fall down, so where you'll be able to go ahead and get that chest. To kind of avoid the what's called the cutscene chest, the chest that you have to light the 4 torches on fire, and I think the cutscene itself to move the wall is 17 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So just a lot of time wasted if you go ahead and check that chest and it's nothing.
At this point, this is the battle of the go modes. Basically watching both of our runners just head to endgame, clear out whatever they can, or I guess whatever they have left as fast as possible. MM2 coming to the end of Swamp. Gonna have 1, 2, 3 crystals left, along with GT. Of course, already done Mother Brain as well. And Nito, just finishing up Vidi, only has Desert Palace, GT, and then Dragon and Ridley. So as you mentioned, Ridley being really in that southern section of Super Metroid, I think is going to be a big difference maker. Not too much you can do to speed up that process. You can access it at least via the Mire area, so it's going to route in nicely. Nito, are you okay? I was like, please pull out the mirror. I thought I was gonna go wait for the portal for a second.
Does he already have? Okay, so yeah, he's gonna go into desert to get the big key. Yeah, Lower North Fair to Ridley is pretty similar to Turtle Rock in that there's not a whole lot you can do to make it faster. There's a couple things here and there that you're not going to check if you don't have to, but nothing super significant. So Nito here has the big key on the torch, gonna be able to go right back to Lianmo. But yeah, Nito, also important to point out, he doesn't have that speed booster or the high jump boots, so his time in Lower North Fair is going to be a little bit longer. And MM2 has got the Super Metroid completed, has to do, like you said, School with Central Rock and Mire.
Yeah, and MM2 is going to have the good finish prospect because he can do Mire into Desert Palace and go T-Rock into GT, so he'll only have to do the mountain climb once for that, which is nice.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point. The mountain climb itself, of course, is 45 seconds to a minute on its own. And then also, he's not... It's pretty unlikely at this point that Nito will finish Super Metroid before Link to the Past, but maybe. But MM2 will also have the no-lag escape, so saving a little bit of time there. Of course, the credits, if you finish A Link to the Past last, are a lot longer, but that doesn't matter for your overall time.
That's the reason we all actually finish Super Metroid second, is because nobody wants to watch the vanilla Link to the Past credits before seeing the actual combo credits with all that juicy info.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a little much, but, you know. It's the way it is sometimes. Especially if you do go Turtle Rock into GT. A lot of the combo randomizer you'll see, like, Dragon being kind of the last boss killed after Ganon's Tower and after Ganon. Especially if it is hard mode and the runners end up without gravity suit. But that's not going to be the case today. I'm curious to see if MM2 gambles on compass chest and cutscene chest before going to the lobby or not. That would give Nito a little bit more time.
It's really hard to call either way how this is going to go, because both of them have things that benefit them in terms of how this is all going to route together. It's going to be really funny if, as you mentioned earlier, this comes back to the one case of MM2 having to reroute in Ice Rod Cave, or even something like GT routing. Maybe GT routing plays a big part in this too.
Yeah, MM2, okay. So that compass chest there you just got the map in, if that chest was a small key, MM2 would know 100% for sure that the big key was in the compass chest. Since it was just the map, he decided to skip the cutscene chest and go ahead and come out to the lobby, and there is the big key. So, didn't lose too much time there, maybe like 15 to 20 seconds, checking that chest that I don't think Nito did, but maybe he did. Nito already into GT, but of course MM2 already does have Mother Brain down, so this is a close one. I like this. I like this a lot. Neatorific, I think, if you know him from kind of the SMZ3 community, does like to gamble on tile room in GT if he thinks it's necessary. So we'll see if he does that today. MM2, important to note, does not have that lamp from Skullwoods, so effectively all of his dark rooms a little bit slower. Let's see, so Pod was a pendant today. I think Pod is probably the dungeon that Lamp saves probably the most time overall. Meyer a very close second. He's of course doing the Meyer rooms really well and really effectively without that lamp.
That button's just hell.
Yeah, he's through the hard rooms already. Yeah, getting that button in that first room with your Samaria block in the dark is really hard if you don't know any good setups for it. So yeah, he's already out of there. He did that really quickly. The only other dark room is the Turtle Rock platform maze room, which I personally hate with a passion. Some people find it quote-unquote easy. I'm not one of those people. But maybe MM2 is, and it won't bother him at all. And Nito, of course, doing the tower room, like I said, likes to gamble. The tower room has 3 small keys, so I guess maybe it's here. I don't know. Ganon's Tower key logic is pretty silly. Oh no, got grabbed. At least he could just go through if he wants to. Yeah, he doesn't have to wait out the tiles again. It's just a little bit of a time loss though. Having to go back through. MM2 has to clear Skullwoods, and then he can go up to the mountain to rock. Well, wait, did Nito... So Nito hasn't even done Ridley, though. I find it kind of strange that he decided to go to GT without having done Ridley. Am I wrong about that? Maybe he did do it, and I just missed it. But I don't think he did. I kind of think he forgot about Ridley. It's not the worst thing in the world, because he does have the flute in the bits, which is easy access to the Lower Norfolk portal. And maybe it was kind of on purpose, since he doesn't have that space jump or high jump and speed booster, so it's not super fast to get out of that screw attack room. But I still think that would kind of be faster than trying for GT first and hoping that you score one of those things.
Looking at Nito's item loaded, I still can't believe that he's only got plasma. and MM2 has full beam combo and even Spazer on the side.
Wow, that is weird, because, Ice Beam, of course, was in Lower Norfolk. Spazer at Mama Turtle, which Nito also hasn't been to. Wave B was a place with something else kind of nice. I can't remember what it was though. Was that down there with high jump boots in the sand pit? It might have been.
I can't recall. I know it wasn't that long ago that he got it. Spazer was very distinctive because obviously we didn't expect him to grab it.
Yeah, Moth is super quick when you have to look for anything else. But MM2 is missing the special lamp, the best item in the game, of course. But yeah, going up here to Turtle Rock, probably about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes until he's in Ganon's tower, along with Nito here, which seems to have a pretty deep, big key. And it would be kind of... Okay, there it is. I was gonna say, it'd be kind of unfortunate if it was on that right side. You're gonna go ahead and mirror out here. You kind of want to make sure you have at least one small key once you're climbing Ganon's tower. There is one small key up at the top guaranteed from one of the mini helmet enemies, but you do need 2 total to actually get through. And there are 4 chests up here, 3 of them which are accessible before the second key door, and not guaranteed for any of them to have a key, and actually more often than not don't have a small key, so you want to make sure you have at least one before you go climbing. And I'm too gonna do the most important strat, Tug Paw. Heck yeah. Now MM2 is definitely going to win. Gotta tug the Turtle Paw and get the prize that comes out of that.
I'm sure Nito must be happy that our runners didn't find what he generally calls easy mode items, meaning generally space or screw attack. You know, I understand, you know, early screw attack can take a lot of the oomph or scariness out of Super Metroid, and, you know, early space jump negates a lot of the tricks and things that you could do to get around those obstacles otherwise. So I understand the sentiment towards that, but at the same time, sometimes it's just really nice to find those couple really powerful items right out of the gates and just be like, ah ha ha, let's go.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. Yeah, I think you're right. If you're playing an opponent that knows Super Metroid really well, then it just kind of comes out in the wash, whether you both get it or you both don't get it, kind of thing. Like MM2, it's not gonna save these guys as much time as it would save a beginner to Super Metroid kind of thing. That screw attack and space jump combo. But yeah, if you're playing someone who's pretty weak in Super Metroid, those items showing up early could be kind of like, oh, you lose all of your kind of momentum and you lose your strength overall, I think. by being strong in this game. MM2 did have the plasma beam when he went into Lone Warfare, which is kind of, in a way, is kind of your budget screw attack. You can shoot an enemy as you walk through it, and it hitboxes the enemy, so you kind of walk through it while it's in its invincibility frames and you don't get hurt. You'll see that kind of in the key hunter shafts, mostly with the big disc gigas, which are the big puppy dogs, right before Power Bomb's a shame, that kind of thing. So that can help a lot too.
Oh, that was a nice bonk. I don't think I've actually seen that one.
I like that one. I'm a little too scared to go for it. I find that if you just if you do happen to be like say you don't have fire rod there and you just have a lamp, you can actually just walk through the little electric wall and you'll keep going straight. So you're not in too much danger, but that's pretty much the only time I see those strats.
That quarter heart provided another full heart for Nito, so he's got 15 in blue mail, so pretty comfortable there. We see MM2's at 13 in green, so a little more of the danger zone when it comes to making bacon a little bit later. But both experienced runners both should be fine. I know MM2 should still have a blue potion in tow as well, which is makes things a little more comforting. But Ganon can do a lot of damage when you're in green tunic.
Yeah, I think Ganon himself is 8 hearts if you actually run into him. 6 with blue mail and 3 with red mail. Blue mail, of course, was at the sky missiles that we saw from Nito in the wreck ship, which MM2 decided to skip, which ended up being a good skip overall. Yeah, I think you're right though, he does have another blue potion. Gets that key in that first chest of the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge, so I don't have to check anything else. Nito with Ganon 2 down, so gonna go ahead to that Ganon fight.
It was really nice, Aiga. He had a good triple in there and made the most of those positions. Sometimes Aiga can be a little bit awkward in terms of getting off time with himself. Sometimes the real ones and the fake ones will be a little bit out of sync and then continue to get more out of sync. I'm not sure why, but it becomes really frustrating. But really nice triple, and you're going to see he's going to be trying to utilize the wall and some spin attacks when possible.
Yeah, you want to hit him 12 times in phase 1 and 2 each if you have the tempered sword, just 6 times if you have the gold sword, so a little bit easier there to not have to have 2 parts to each phase. Gets through phase 1 and 2 really quickly. Meanwhile, MM2 needs to be a little careful. One more hit. There, try next close. Nito also has a blue potion, so he's definitely going. I seem to remember a time where Nito had 6 hearts and MM2 had 12, so it's kind of funny that Nito ended up with a lot more hearts than MM2 at the end here.
MM2 had a lot more to work with in Super Metroid for a long period of time. He had, I think, double the amount of E-tanks, 6 or 7 or something, and Nito had 3 at one point. But it's all obviously come out in the wash at this point.
Little G for Nito as well. Has Ganon down. Does have to still do Ridley and Dragon though. Dragon's pretty quick here. I think kind of the consensus is if you're coming this way to go to Dragon, take this dash up here to this portal that's a little bit before the catfish check. Takes you straight to the portal that's right next to the back of Meridia to get to Dragon pretty quickly.
worth noting that Nito does not have microwave beam, nor does he have speed booster. So he's gonna have to resort to. I don't even know if he found grapple.
He found grapple.
Okay,
Yeah.
so grapple or missiles, I guess, are going to be the options going into Dragon.
Yeah, that's actually pretty significant. Speed Booster is right there at bottom.
I know.
Actually, so he could have theoretically checked it, but I understand that from his position. It is a door transition and some hop skips and jumps out of the way for something that could just be 20 rupees or 10 arrows. So I definitely understand his position here to not check that item, but it's just so funny that it was just right there and he could have had it. He doesn't have charge, doesn't have, so yeah, he's gonna go ammo kill here until Dragon does some goop phases and he's able to grapple kill, which it's possible that's really fast that Dragon does the goop phase on her second round, but it's also possible that Dragon does not do that. Dragon, after the first swoop, is completely random. Don't think there's anything you can do to change what she does at that point. So we'll see how she treats Nito today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he also gets ice, because that'll come into play with Zebskip, that'll come into play with the Metroids. This is going to be interesting. Alright, he's going grapple route, I don't blame him.
Yeah, it didn't quite look like he's going for the grapple quick kill. The setups, if you have high jump or don't have high jump, are slightly different. There's also kind of the factor in if you get hit by the goop too early, she can just kind of fly past you and ignore you. So I think it looked like Nito was protecting against that situation there. But she didn't do, I don't think she did any spanks, so that was pretty much as fast as it can get if you don't get the fast, quick grapple kill.
Yeah, I don't blame him grabbing those supers. Looking at 50 supers, 100 missiles, no ice beam, no charge, I would have grabbed those too.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think you're right. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think you're a little more likely to check things like Wasteland and just things that are kind of right there in the same room, just like a few tiles away kind of thing. You're more likely to check those if you don't, if you don't have all your comfy items in A Link to the Past, and or you're not done with A Link to the Past. And Nito is done with Link to the Past, so he's kind of sitting here thinking there's only like 2 or 3 possible items that can make, the rest of my Super Metroid better. So it's pretty unlikely that they're going to be here at Batuni Tank or here at Wasteland Power Bombs. So he really might not check them.
He's going to go right back into Link to the Past. He's going to flute to Meyer, and he's going to use the portal as we would expect. And I think I believe you said Ice was at Power Bomb of Shame, was it?
I think so. And then Charge was at Golden Chorizo. And then, of course, Speed.
I don't expect he's going to get charged then. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form that he takes on this fight at this point. So I think it's safe to say he's going to be going missiles only for Mother Brain. Power Bombs of Shame can go either way. I could see grabbing it because you need to power bomb the area anyways, and it's close enough that you could just dip in and check if you need to drop that PB anyways. I would check it, and I hope he does, but power bombing the Metroids versus using ice on them is a really big time sink in a matter of perspective when these guys could be only a couple minutes apart, if that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think he probably will check it. I think it was, it's really wasn't any slower than that screw attack check, so why not, kind of thing. Yeah, the Pyro Metroids versus Ice Beam is probably about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how good you are, at the Ice Beam strats and all that. And then Speed Booster out of the escape, which we already know Nito is going to be missing. It's probably about the same, 20 to 30 seconds time loss. So, if you're looking about 40 seconds to about a minute time loss over MM2's Torian, I really hope that Nito goes ahead and checks Power on the Machine.
We get to see, it's my favorite slope in the game. I call it my favorite set of stairs because Nito is ultimately not going to get that speed booster. So during the escape, there is a set of 90-degree angle, what appear to be steps or steps or whatnot. And it's actually a slope that Samus just runs up. And I absolutely love it because it's hilarious to me that they have these 90-degree cutouts that look like individual blocks you'd have to jump up. And it's just suddenly slope. So because Nito is no speed booster, we'll get to see my favorite set of stairs on his escape run.
That is actually really funny. I haven't thought about that in a long time. But yeah, she does just run up them like it's nothing.
Alright, Aga given... There we go. Gave a little bit of business to MM2, but Aga 2 is not really a threat.
Yeah, this is it for MM2, isn't it? Just about, depending on how well it goes, maybe like 2 minutes until he's done.
Yeah.
Here with Ganon. Lots of silver arrows. Maybe not even. I think I'm a bad judge of how long Ganon takes overall.
Well, as long as he doesn't get hugged.
No hugs. No love. I think he could take like
2.
1 hug. Doesn't. Not even.
Yeah, no, he's starting with less than 4
It's a
hugs.
half-heart short of 2 hugs. That's funny. Yeah, Ganon does a lot of damage if you only have green mail.
He's got half magic and he's got cape, so I mean he has the liberty of being able to use that. Taking a couple fire bats. Doesn't want to take a hug now.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, he could be super careful here and use that cape.
If you have
magic
a blue
cape.
potion, like why not?
I would, because I'm a baby. I feel like I like conditioned myself to be used to having the cape, so now I can't do it without the cape, kind of thing. But yeah, if you are swinging your sword and hitting something, and you have the cape on, those seconds it won't actually drain your magic. So it's a little weird, but so yeah, MM2 definitely has that option. He's saying no, though. He's gonna just do it the old-fashioned way, and that is the 4 silver, and that is the second final boss for MM2. He's going to be our winner tonight, looks like.
Yeah, coming in with a 236 and change momentarily as he goes through the doors. Very nice.
Yeah, GG to mm2nescartridge. Really fast time, actually, for an SMZ3. This was actually really fast. And we do have MM2 joining us here in the booth. Welcome in, GG MM2.
GG, that was actually that was quite a fast seed the way I played it. That was, yeah. I have not gotten many sub 240s, so yeah, GG's.
Yeah, that's pretty unlikely, and I think even here, like neatorific just has Ridley here, and then just Mother Brain, so it's even gonna be fast for him. Like this was a fast seed. I don't know if he's gonna go ahead and finish it out or not. He doesn't have much else to do, but yeah, this was a pretty fast seed. Nito did end up doing like the wreck ship long before you did, so we knew where your go mode, fire rod, and flippers were this whole time. let's see. What do you think was kind of the overall benefit for MM2 here?
I think the ice rod probably helped. Doing wreck ship late, so I got to skip the top. That probably helped.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I was sad I didn't get to do bowling skip. That would have been fun.
Nito, do you want to finish off? I mean, we're almost an hour ahead of your estimated time. You can take the couple
you
minutes.
are pretty close, Nito.
You can take the couple minutes to finish Mother Brain.
Yeah, this is like, it's great that we got to go this fast, but it sucks that we're a literal hour ahead of estimate. So that's not great.
Yeah, could you guys just be bad, please, next time?
Blame Sahasrabot. He's the guy who rolled the seed.
Well, and we saw that, like, we saw it was an Agaseed, right? So we saw that early on. You learned it a little bit later than Nito did. But, like, I guess you had a really good routing in terms of one major item into the next, and you didn't really have to do anything, I felt like, extra overworld. Like, you had your moon pearl and then you found your mirror, so you got to do that and all in one good sweep. Like you said, it was a really fast seed. Was there anything that you felt was particularly scary or difficult?
Pretty much the entirety of early Dark World was absolutely terrifying. Getting all that on 5 hearts. Boots and Master Sword were just amazing to have. I'm pretty sure they're the reason I survived. The death at Ice Rod Cave was very embarrassing. My Trinex fight was also quite embarrassing. Those sucked. Those were probably the low points of my run. Then, yeah, finding the powder right after Bryn Loop, taking it pretty much immediately to the Ice Rod, that was really nice. And then I just did Dark World, got the Varia, did the stuff, did East Death Mountain, then just took the Varia to the Mitts. Took the Mitts to the other stuff that was Mitts locked. I think I ended up getting Gravity out of that. And then after Gravity, I got Gravity, and I got Ice out of Lower Norfair, and then I took Ice to get the Speed. And then I took Speed to do Wreck Ship, finally. And then it was go mode, yeah.
I don't have any movement items other than Spring Ball.
Yeah, poor Nito's here with just the spring ball and bombs, which are just the worst items ever. Yeah.
You ended up with very different loadouts, because you ended up with full beam combo and he's going to the end game with just plasma.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, now you're charged, like, it's just like, and yeah, here you can see it's going reverse amphitheater.
Can I do this in 2 supers?
Oh yeah. So if you go this way, not in logic and normal, but yeah, you have to keep in mind your super count as well, which is always really hard to remember.
Yeah, I remember I did that in a weekly once. I just forgot that I needed supers, and then I was sad. And then I forgot the elevator existed, so I had to forfeit. So that was sad. That was like a very long while ago. So
otherwise, this is faster to go through this way, but in this case, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it only saves 10 seconds if you get GGG first try, though, so I don't usually go for it unless I've got a butt ton of supers anyway, so.
Well, it depends.
You guys took very different approaches, like overworld and stuff like that. You guys, right from the get-go, took different paths, and then we saw that Nito did the CWJ into Wreck Ship, which yielded a lot of stuff. And you took the Wreck Ship later, despite having grapple and visiting there first, which obviously kind of brought about your some of your end stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to do Wreck Ship when I went over to the moat and went down Red Tower, because at the time I had Varia, and I wanted to do the Varia stuff and the East Death Mountain stuff and all the other stuff that I felt was better. And also, Wreck Ship just sucks on low movement items, particularly Sky Missiles. Like, it's not fun, and I had better options. And then
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just meant, like, normal logic. If Wreck Ship is available early, I skip it. If it's not, and I sequence break into it, and I got some stuff out of it, but no movements.
Yeah.
Also, Nito, you have to finish because we have to see. I already hyped up my favorite set of stairs, and we can't not see it. And because you don't have speed booster, you're going to be able to fulfill that for us.
Oh, I'm sad. You know why? Because if I had space jump and screw attack during escape, you would have seen those. Because map completion. No, I probably wouldn't have done it.
MM2, this whole run is negated. You used Spring Ball like a lot. It wasn't okay. It's not okay because this is normal mode and it's never required.
I know, like I was sad that I had to use Spring Ball as much as I did. It was a sad day. I wish
you didn't have to.
Well, you're right. I didn't have to, but for my route, I did. You know. It would have been a lot better if the game had just swapped high jump and spring balls positions, because then life would have just been better.
That is kind of how normal is. Go ahead, Nito. Sorry.
That's just where we're stuff because I'm still.
The stuff was in Lower Norfair and Meridian, the places that you never went.
But Gravity was my go.
Gravity. So MM2's go was the flippers in Wreck Ship. So fire and flippers. So he already had gravity. So he had checked. So high jump boots are in one of the sand pits. I think the right sand pit.
Right sand pit, left item.
That's what you think, which you were one room away from, which I totally understand you not checking it, obviously. But that was speed booster.
Oh.
And then ice beam wasn't it Power Bombs of Shame?
Yeah, it was PBs of Shame. Oh, and then Wave was Aqueducts.
Yeah.
Did he get the Of course he didn't get the tempered sword.
He got tempered somewhere that you didn't get it. Where was your tempered? Chess game.
The chess game.
Well,
that was my master. That was my master.
My master was the missiles on
robots
the way
in Wreck Ship, right?
Yeah.
Attic missiles or gravity missiles?
Oh yeah, it was gravity.
Attic.
It was gravity missiles.
Was it gravity?
Attic was a blue rupee, I think.
Oh right, yeah. Blue. There was the nickel up top, right?
That was the thing that was at the top of the Wreck Ship for bowling.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. Yeah. So yeah, you did both have tempered, but yeah, there was another sword at Main Street. Yeah, you just got super unlucky with what your go mode was compared to MM2's, because you were just like a room away or less from at least 2 really nice items.
Yeah, we definitely thought that the early Wreck Ship was going to work in your favor, given that it yielded so many good things, and it just...
My rod led to nothing. Led to nothing.
The items just didn't lock anything. Like, it was great doing those late, because there were 2 items that kind of can be anywhere. Not like anywhere like Ice Rod anywhere, but anywhere compared to Hammer or something like that. And then, yeah, if you get 2 items like that late, but they don't lock anything, that's fun. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
during the Invitational last year, I found mitts early, very early, way before Asder, and followed them to gravity and followed that, and they didn't yield anything. The only thing that mitts locked, aside from Ganon's Tower, were the gravity, and there was nothing in Meridia. So sequence breaking stuff early, not always a good thing.
Normal logic. Woo.
Yeah, we had that conversation about how kind of normal logic can go one of 2 ways. How either you can get something that's fast, or you can get drip-fed unique items slowly over a long period of time that makes it a very painful seed, usually with unrewarding sequence breaks.
Oh, did you like the Fantoon Crystal Flash?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yes, I was freaking out. I was like, this guy.
Okay, what about the splash cancel for supers?
Oh, yeah, that too. I mean, I guess it kind of worked out because you didn't end up with charge.
I'm pretty low on ammo too.
Oh yeah. Charge was at GT Supers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy did splash late for the Zoral Edge Supers.
Well, honestly, turns out I need them.
I mean, if you don't have charge, I'll defend it if you don't have charge and you have like not good ammo. To be honest, but
this was like 30 minutes into the
We
scene.
were pretty
maybe,
early in the
maybe not
game.
even. It was
Okay.
early.
okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. That's
But I thought it was cool, like showing that off, and then like
Yeah.
you showed it off for the
Yeah,
waterfall.
I didn't need to do the CLOG. I could use spring ball for it, but I figured, let's
You
do
got
it
it
on
second
the show.
try.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I didn't grab the item and CLOG at the same time, but the second try worked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was
Second
fun.
try.
See, that's my issue with SMZ3. I really enjoyed the early and mid game, but when you're when you look for a go mode of 1 hour, you're like, can this end, please?
Yeah, at least it wasn't an ice rod hunt for either of us. Because ice rod was ice sequence broke the powder after Bryn loop with a splash delete, which I had to do twice because I took a hit afterward. But because reasons, I just got kicked back to where I was. I think it's because I didn't screen transition yet. But
Splash delete. Had you
Yeah.
killed? I know it doesn't always work. Like if you kill them.
no, like it worked, but then I took a hit from like a Zora fireball on my way to Hobo.
Well,
And
yeah.
that happened a couple
And then-
times too.
yeah. Yeah, it happened once on my way to Hobo, and then it happened like twice on my way to Waterfall Ferry later. And so I was like, okay, I guess I just get to do splash delete 5 times. Like,
I didn't know that didn't just kill you like it does in A Link to the Past. only.
no, it does. It does kill you in Link. If you screen transitioned after you do the splash delete. It's like if I had taken a hit from the arrow guy right before going to Hobo, then I would have died. But not if
Really?
not where I did.
Okay. I didn't see. I say this again. I didn't know that because I don't get hit when I fake flip. No. But I thought it just killed you, and I was like, that's weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Also, shoutouts to not spring ball jumping in pre-cathedral because Nova boosted is objectively superior.
That was cool. I don't know if I've ever like seen that before and like paid attention.
I've done it once in a weekly, and then it got me glove, but the other glove was like in sphere 1, and so it was sad anyway. But I played that weekly like crap anyway. So, but yeah, thanks Snick, because I learned it from like some 2015 run. I think it was Snick's 12% run actually that I learned that trick from.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Snick.
Time for lots of missiles to the face.
For the face. Can Nito do this? He's only got
3 billion.
55 missiles to spare.
Yeah, only 55. This is. I think this is more than enough. I have confidence in you, Nito.
That's saving
There we
10
go.
for the catch-up phase.
Heck yeah.
And it just goes to show, though, like, SMZ3, there are so many items, so there are 316 items that you can get. So it's just kind of, you miss one thing, and it just derails everything compared to, like, what would be the optimal route. It's just funny how, like, different the times come out here, even if runners are just as good as the other runner, kind of thing.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to put on a show and hoping to win. But when I found Varia and then I found Miss, I'm like, oh. And I found Gravity, like, oh boy, I lost by a mile.
Yeah, that can't feel good getting Varia late and then getting Mids late and then getting Gravity late. That does not sound fun. But yeah, I was coming here with the same expectations. Put on a show, hope to win. GG's if I don't, and yeah, GG's if I do.
It's
Well,
a
and you are
cool
getting
move.
redemption for
It's
your
fun.
power outage.
Yeah, for sure. The power outage has been redeemed. Yeah. Fun fact, I went back to that seed like the day after. Apparently Bo was in Palace of Darkness. So that would not have been a fun seed to finish out, but yeah. I definitely would have went underestimate for sure, but not an hour underestimate.
Yeah, I don't understand how you had Pendant, Palace of Darkness, and Ice Palace here, and were able to finish without going into either. I don't understand that. That does not compute.
Yeah.
SMZ3 Pendant dungeons are mandatory.
I think there was like, yeah, there was 2 required progression items in Crystal Dungeons. That's like a new record for SMZ3. Like the
Yeah.
boots for the morph, and then the variant Thieves Tower.
And Lamp in Skullwoods that you missed, MM2. The lamp! The
Heck.
lamp!
I was honestly like, I was fine going into Mire, but going into TR, I just have a history with Dark TR. And it is not a good history.
Oh my god, I hate Dark Turtle Rock Room. I hate it with a passion. I will do any other dungeon before I do Dark TR.
Oh, I hate the Mire
The-
button.
Yeah, Mire is Mire's harder to do starting out, but once you learn it, I feel like it's better. TR is just, it's fine until it goes wrong, and then it's off.
Yeah,
Here comes the
that's
stairs.
the thing. It's kind of like a Contra game. It's easy until you mess it up, then
Slopey
you don't know what to
stairs.
do.
Look at him.
What? How did he do that?
Oh my god. Never seen before tech.
Nito, how'd you do that?
Samus can't crawl, but she can run up 90-degree angles.
If you too want to run up 90-degree angles in your Super Metroid speedrunning, you should run Super Metroid map completion.
Oh my gosh.
Shameless advertising.
Oops.
You could just do that rando. Don't have to do map completion.
Yeah,
Time for the
but
slow escape. Okay, that's not working.
So Nito's got, no space, no high jump, no speed. All the bad going on here.
wait, I forgot to ask. Nito, did you tug paw?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
That's why you won.
That's why I won. Yeah, that's the entire reason. Yeah.
You got a tug paw, Nito. Are you out of the loop? Nice left side wall jumps though. You good job there.
Good job.
I'll give it to you. But it's no tug paw. Turtle Rock was a crystal, you have no excuse.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Oh, I got Bombos super late because I died on my way to Ice Rod Cave. And
That was
Yeah.
lucky too.
yeah,
Right outside Ice Rod Cave, too. You got, like, comboed by your own bomb and a crab.
yeah. Usually when I get when I do that, I walk into my bomb on purpose so that I don't take another 2 heart damage from the crab and die, because like I'm used to having like 4 hearts there. But then I had 3 and I was sad. So yeah, that was unfortunate. And then I got it late and I was like, oh god, if it's Fire Rodless TR, I'm just done. But it wasn't, and I was happy. But yeah, GG to Nito.
GG's. This is charity, so I wanted to take a different route. So I figured you wouldn't sequence break into reg chip, so I did. It was a fun seed. I'm saying, if it were a normal seed, that's surprising, but it was a fun seed.
It didn't have any of your OP unfun items at the start. I was saying earlier that I know you're always disappointed when you get like early space jump or early screw attack, because it makes like it takes a lot of the fun things that you can show off out of your tool belt, because then you can just do those things, and then like screw attack makes you
Yeah, well, screw attack's not as bad as early space jump. Early space jump going, hey, you can do everything. Like, yay!
Yeah.
There's no logic to follow. I can go everywhere and do everything. I just have to guess now.
Yeah, early space jump definitely just muddies the waters. With just morph, it's just like, yeah, just go do Bryn. You'll need to. I was honestly kind of surprised that this was a morph seed with the pearl and then the boots in the Eastern. I was thinking, and also the bow. I was thinking, oh, the boots are going to lead to like Glove Hammer, and then the other one's just going to be in front of Escape, and then it's going to be Dark World on 4 Hearts Green Mail, and then we'll be sad.
Mhm.
But it wasn't. And then I still did Dark World on 5 Hearts Green Mail.
think I had 6 stars with blue mail by then.
You had blue mail? I
Yes.
finished on green. Where was your blue mail?
Sky missiles.
Dang it! Top. The last like when we raced on Restream for that one weekly, Nito, I skipped top of wreck ship in that one too, and it had like Varia and a sword. And now I skip into this one, and it has like a mail and a sword, so it's kind of like the same thing.
Not required. It was nice to have. I came close to death a couple of times.
Yeah, same.
I like that 3-minute Meridia. I like seeing that.
Heck yeah. Heck Meridia. Meridia is just not fun. Especially I saw the high jump and I was like, I want this, but I have to kill Dragon. And routing is not fun. What if I find Speed Booster somewhere? And then I found Speed Booster and I was like, okay, I'm happy I skipped the high jump, even though I would love to have the high jump.
So here's a question for you. Why Spazer?
Because Spazer.
Okay.
In Rando League Season 3, which was like a half a year ago, my team was named the Golden Shower. Why? Because that's Spazer's special game attack. So I had to pick up Spazer.
This guy who says that he hates Spring Ball also used Spring Ball in his race as the Golden Shower against me and won because of it. I just don't believe that he hates Spring Ball. I just don't believe it.
I did not win because of it. I could have GGG'd.
I mean, yeah, that's what you should have done in the first place, but you went back and then he Spring Ball jumps to Croc. That was such a funny thing. And, like, I played exactly to, like, avoid the situation where you went straight to Croc. And so it's funny that, like, I had a chance if I had just done it. But
yeah, I would have.
I'm not mad. I made it to the finals. Where were you?
Oh.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to be content with our top 8.
Yep.
Next year we'll get you. We won't.
I still maintain that I am the champion of the Randomizer League. I will maintain that forever.
You literally beat Kip. You are a champion of the Randomizer League.
Literally Kip. Like, who beats Kip? Me, Maniacal, and Azure. That's it. That's the only people who have beaten Kip ever in, like, 5 years, so.
Yeah, it's like...
You have a champion's belt with that?
Yep.
You have to have the champion's belt.
Little trophy.
And just let it hang on your shoulder while you're doing your grocery shopping.
I deserve it. I agree. Right, Nito?
Heck yeah.
No small feat.
Oh man. Well, thank you guys so much. That was a lot of fun. As you know, I love SMZ3. We all love SMZ3. You guys at home, don't be shy. Learn it, try it, give it a try. Join the Discord for it. Search out the site. Do whatever you need to do. Don't be intimidated by it. It's something that you can take piece by piece. And
a lot of the tricks are way simpler than they look like.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, example, a lot of people are like, oh, Mog Ball's impossible. I type how to do it in 30 seconds, it can do it.
And there's resources at the yin yang. There's stuff everywhere.
For sure.
Just take one trick at a time. Don't go straight for the stutter 4 tap, but start Mog Ball, then Gate Glitched, and Force Skip. Very simple tricks. And they open up a lot of stuff.
Gravity jump, yeah.
Yeah.
Gravity jump.
We talked about gravity jump being an easy one to learn. Fake flippers, a couple things in Link to the Past, like learn a dark room or two and just have the room handy to look at if you need to. Like there's so many people that are also willing to learn. Like there's a lot of people in our Discord that hang out and enjoy races and are always willing to teach other people. So don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that when I was doing Dark Aga, I did pull up the Dark Room map for it. I think I did it like in the Crystal cutscene for Skullwoods. But yeah, I just wanted to remember where that torch was. But yeah, definitely join the SMZ3 Discord. Definitely a lot easier to learn than you think. Just learn 2 speed games. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm thinking back of the race, and the only trick I struggle with was the delayed wall jump to Gauntlet. Took me quite a few tries.
Yeah.
Then the one leaving Dragon, which is way harder, I got it first try.
Oh, I had to do that one with a spike suit because I decided that was the best thing to do.
That one's deceptively hard. Like
Oh,
you
for
don't
sure.
you don't realize how hard it is until you're actually doing it.
Yeah, that one's caught me off guard before, and then I think at one point I just decided that I was going to do a gravity jump for it, even though the delayed wall jump was possible. It's faster if you're consistent with it. But yeah, definitely GG's. Thanks for having us on this marathon. Definitely a pleasure to support the cause and do this all for charity. Great fun.
Always. All right, well, guys, stay tuned. We've got a short amount of time until the next run. It's not as long as it was when we finished a second ago, but thank you guys. Hang tight, everyone out in the audience. We will be back in a little bit with, if I'm not mistaken, we have the messenger up next.
Heck yeah, that's gonna be a good one.